Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Fully Rendered podcast. I hope we're all well. I'm joined
Are we
today.
sure?
Are we
It's
sure?
episode 6.
This is definitely episode 6.
Episode
I've
6?
got to tag you guys.
Shit. Oh,
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I tagged
'cause
you guys.
I'm going to type my name first, though.
I did have to check before creating the tweet. I was like, is it episode 6? We're nearly at 10.
I think I
You're doing so well.
accidentally logged on. I started streaming on like earlier this week, and I set up my stream deck, and I just hit the live button, and immediately I was like, "Oh no, it just says episode 5."
No, it's the wrong thing. What have we done?
It's the wrong thing. I'm not even doing that.
Yeah.
Look, numbers are just a number, man.
Numbers are just...
We weren't even doing the podcast though. I was just going in on my own asshole, my asshole-ish.
Yeah, for real. So, let's start the show off with how we are this week. Pope, you have a new mic.
I do. Hopefully it sounds better for everyone.
It sounds majestic. I am so envious. I really want a beacon mic.
It's funny because Brian was telling me last time, because I was using a Blue Yeti this whole time and I didn't notice, like, I tried really hard to make it better. And when you just gave me all the 3 options or 4 options, I was like, fuck it, let's just buy the beacon. Like, whatever, it's going to pay for itself.
Yeah, so just for those listening in or watching, I suggested either the beacon mic or, which is like a really expensive microphone, but it does everything all in one go. You basically plug and play it. Or you could get like the Wave 3 from Elgato, or she could learn Voice Meter Banana, or learn how to use VSTs and then wire them through virtual cables and stuff. And she was basically like, yeah, I'm going to go with the expensive one. So I was like, fair enough. I gave you 3 options. But yeah. But,
Yeah.
Well, I figured with the Elgato, because I think it was like $100 less or something, and I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, why would I buy, like, if I'm going to spend another $300 later down the road, like a year later,
right,
on a brand new mic, I might as well just get the expensive mic now and then have it pay for itself.
It will be
like,
better than the Wave.
oh yeah, for sure.
It sounds. I think
do
it
some
sounds
great
better.
stuff, but there is a premium one without the stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Like, I like their stuff. I've even like advocated for this boom arm that I'm using for the mic. But I've always
use a
said,
bunch of their stuff. They're great.
yeah,
But there
I
is
use
a
their,
premium involved because of
these
the...
are their green screens.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Those are their
It's a
green
brilliant.
screens.
Done. Brilliant.
Yeah, they go
Perfect.
up, and I have their face cam, and it works pretty well. But I think the other thing was the Elgato one sits on the desk, so I didn't want to have that. I already have my space is already limited.
right. Yeah, I've always found their
But
stuff
this-
to be exceptional, but Elgato stuff is also it has stream attacks. It absolutely
Yeah,
has
there is stream attacks on that.
I do think, to be clear to anyone like, oh, free market, Brian, like, I do think they should absolutely have a premium, just not as much as they do.
No one can compete with them
The good
until they
news-
do.
the good news
we're
is-
always going to have that.
The good news is the beacon also forced me to set up my stream deck. I bought it years ago, and I just sat on my desk this whole time. And well, I didn't know how to. I didn't have the patience.
Right.
And when I had to learn this, and I realized there wasn't a mute button like on the Blue Yeti, I was like, "Fuck! I gotta do some shit."
Right.
And so it was like this whole like process for me.
Well, I know what
But
you
I
mean,
have-
because I had to do the same with my stream deck after the computer died, so I had to redo all of my stream deck, and that's when I was like, I'm going to go ham with all the automated features, like when I press the launch button and it sets up all your chats and stuff for me now. Like, I've got
That's
loads
really
of little,
smart.
like, it's so, like, it's something so obscure, but just being able to go, boop, press that one button and it opens everything at the exact locations I want it, the
Yeah.
exact sizes I want it. It saves like maybe a minute or 2, but that's a minute or 2 every time we do a stream. So that's like, it just feels really
The
high quality
dev
to
who
me.
does that one, I've got so many of their things installed because they
Yes.
are brilliant.
Yep. Bar Raider.
They know. Yeah, that's it. They know they know what I need. You know, they got what I need.
I even have like a button that tells me Pope's local time, so I always know what time it is
Oh,
now.
that's helpful.
So yeah, so whenever it's like daylight savings kicks in again, I can just look at my stream deck and go, aha.
Yeah, today I
it's
had
time.
to ask about that. I had to ask about that too, because I remember it was when daylight savings time first happened. I was like, wait a minute, is that still going on? I couldn't remember because
Yeah, I think it was just
it's
for
been
the-
like a wild week for me.
Yeah, it was just for the 2 weeks, I think. It was like literally a day in it or something like that before.
So
the
I think
annoying.
so.
episode.
It's not even done at the same time. It's so
crazy.
stupid.
It's crazy because there's other states that don't have daylight savings time at all, and it's wild when you go visit those states. Like Arizona's one of them, and I went to drive across state line, and the time went back or jumped. Or I forgot what it was, but back an hour or forward an hour, and I was like, oh my god, I time traveled. So
Right.
it's wonderful, but all right, so that's fun.
Fun. Yeah. Congrats on the new mic. Peachy, how are
Thank you very much.
I haven't got a new mic, Brian, you idiot.
I know.
Dummy.
What? But how is life? How is this week?
Yeah, no, it's good. I didn't buy new plastic today.
None? Not on the pre-order? Was it sold out?
Okay, I did buy new plastic
Oh,
today.
you did? Okay.
But the one I wanted was sold out, but the other one I wanted wasn't, so it made my choice easier.
So was it Lion that was sold out, or?
Yeah, Lion sold out. It crashed the website. Everyone's like, give me the damn Lion!
For those of you lost and confused right now, we're talking Warhammer. Peachy, take it away.
Okay, so the Emperor of Mankind.
No, for real. Do you want to talk about the?
I'm gonna diligently listen about that.
About the pre-order?
I tell you what. I'll give you the starter course. Okay. In the beginning, a great powerful psyker called the Emperor was created. Born, we don't know. Is he a god? Is he man? We don't know. He decided that he was going to make humanity the strongest species in the entire galaxy, and he made super soldiers, and then for those super soldiers he made primarchs, which are the daddies of the super soldiers, and some of them died, some of them turned to chaos. In fact, half of all of the armies turned to chaos, which are all the chaos gods. And okay, so there we go. Turned to chaos, bad stuff happened. This was around 30,000. We're now in 40,000, where the entire universe and mankind themselves have just fallen into atrophy and decay, and there is no progression. Everything, it sucks. The Emperor was killed by his favorite son, who turned to chaos, but he's not dead. He's kind of alive on a throne, but just kind of like a corpse who is being kept alive by being fed 1,000 psychers every day. They just throw him into a pit, mulch him up, and he nom 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 nom. And this is normal. This is normal. Okay, this is just how it is. And the Lion is a Primarch who went missing. He's actually been asleep for maybe 10,000 years, or maybe not quite 10,000 years, because the blood, it was Dante. It was Dante from the Blood Angels has brought him back. And it's like, hey, here's your daddy. And he's back now? We don't know. There's 2 Primarchs, and they're back. And the Lion is probably going to go and kick Angron's ass, because he's really good with a sword. But these guys are from a time where the entire universe wasn't in this atrophy. It was the Great Crusades, where we were expanding and growing and learning and whoa. But they've been born into 10,000 years later. Everything is shit, and they think the God Emperor of Mankind is a god. But they know him as Daddy. He was their dad. He created them. So it's a bit messed up right now. With those, there's 2 back. We got Robert Gilman, Reboot Girly Man, if you like, and the Lion. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get another one back. But I'm not going to say yet. Because I've been right about everyone, and I don't want to fuck it up this time.
Fair enough. So when I said you want to go ahead, I meant did you want to talk about the?
I can't wait for it to arrive. It's going to be good. I bought plastic.
Did you not want to talk about
plastic.
how it was released?
It's so good. You're muted, Brian.
Am I? What? How? Can you not hear me?
I can't do a very good Brian impression.
I can't either.
Hello. I can't go as smooth as Brian. Hello.
Yeah, he's got that really smooth baritone.
Hello. My name is Brian the Pirate.
I don't know
That's
why
how he
you couldn't
sounds,
hear me.
right?
Yeah, that's exactly how he sounds.
Yeah, that's how he sounds.
Can you genuinely not hear me?
Got a voice mod.
Oh no!
you hear
We've
me
had
now?
some issues. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yes.
I got a set of voice mods for myself. That's the only way I'll be able to get anywhere close to as deep as Brian.
It's not even that deep. It's more, it's just got a bit of a growl to it because I smoke. And that's probably it, to be honest.
You should stop doing that.
People
I
like
used
it.
to
I would
smoke
never
and my
have
voice.
a vice.
I think my voice got more annoying after I smoked.
Well, thankfully, it got me more women, so I'll go with that.
There you go.
But yeah, so
Like Pokemon, or
yes, I collect them. I get them caught in tiny little balls.
Gotta catch them all.
But yeah,
is that a dimensional rift? What is the ball, or do they just squish them in?
I think it,
Are
I don't
Pokemon's
know.
just really pliable?
I think it
I remember
downloads them into
the,
like a microchip technically because it's
Isn't that Digimon?
no, but I think
I
it's,
think that's
it's
Digimon.
I think it's supposed to be like the same concept because obviously you can then take them to a Poke Center and then you just
I
store
just-
them in a computer.
Yeah, that's right. I guess they are in a computer,
But they're
But-
physically there.
but they're all over the world. They're wild.
yeah.
Yeah, but the technology is that you can just download them and make them digital, and then when you release
You
them,
can't
they're no
download them.
longer
You have to go
digital.
find them and catch them.
Yeah, but after you've bloody caught them is what I meant. You can't like copy paste them.
Yeah, but you keep them in the balls.
Yeah, and then you take them to a Poke
Pokemon
Center.
is stored in the balls.
In D's balls.
Yeah, like
What's up?
I don't
what are we
know.
doing today?
I'm not
What is
Nintendo.
happening?
What are we supposed to be talking about?
so Peachy is supposed to be telling us when these figurines he didn't buy
Oh!
are supposed to
Oh!
be releasing.
No, they released today. The lion, who came with 3 other little things that I don't care about, was released today along with the Arks of Omen book, which is the end of the Arks of Omen storyline, which is essentially kind of crazy. Like I said, the lion comes back, and for the first time ever, Chaos won. Now, there are no good guys or bad guys in 40k, but if you're on humans' side, Chaos is the bad,
Right.
and they won. Vashtor has collected every single key fragment. Also, he rebuilt Caliban. He rebuilt an entire planet, which is the planet where the Dark Angels come from. He just built it. It's like, hey, do you know what? Boom, planet done, sorted. So he's done that. He's got all the fragments, and now he's probably going to become the 5th Chaos God. Maybe. We don't know. So I bought Vashtor, and I'm going to paint him. So it's very exciting. Listen, this is very exciting. Okay, for a long time, Warhammer's just kind of not progressed. They've been bits and pieces here and there, and now they're like, let's just storyline. Let's go. We got 10th edition. Let's do something with this. We got Tyrannies. Let's go. It's very exciting.
I loved how you said "bam, planet done" and then Pope's coffee machine fit. Like it was like planet's ready.
That's how he did
I
it. It was
forgot
a
to-
pod machine.
It was very
I
well
forgot
timed.
to turn it off again.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was best timing. I loved it.
I've been drinking a lot of coffee lately.
Sorry, I didn't know you. I didn't realize you actually wanted to know. Nobody actually wants to know what I started talking about. Warhammer.
I do actually want to know. That's why I said like it's maybe playing off as a joke, but I am being like I'll be a diligent listener the whole time. I want to know everything. I'll take notes the
Everything.
whole time. I'll take notes.
I'll call Luton. Good God, everything.
Everything.
We will do it one day. When I say we, I mean I'm gonna be like, and this is the show, and then I leave Pope to die. And then I just abandon him, and I'm like, bye.
Just give me a bell. All you have to do is just give me a bell. So whenever like I have to go like take a pee break, I'll just be like, wait.
Ding 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 ding. I will be back.
You sit. Okay.
You wait until the lecture's over.
Right.
So anyway, the Space Wolves.
Many wars. So yeah, let's move on to the main topics of the first half. We've got loads of filler, so we might not go through all of it, but it's there just in case. But have you guys heard about what's happening with ARK 2? Obviously, you've read the agenda. Were you aware of it beforehand?
I don't like
I don't
the
play
ARK
ARK.
developers very much.
Oh, are they not that good? I knew I have like a lot of my friends were playing it like but when it first came out, the original first ARK, obviously, and when everyone started playing again, I was so far behind. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, ARK have been unreliable, to say the least. Have had some very sketchy decisions, and a lot of people have been finding what motives they have behind those decisions to be a little bit dubious and money grubby kind of thing.
They're not dubious. They're quite clear what the decisions are all about.
I'm just doing the not a lawyer bit. Yeah, I'm just doing the not a lawyer bit basically. But yeah, so for those who don't know, ARK 2 has been delayed, and then
Which is fine.
the developer
games need
behind
to be delayed
it.
to be finished.
Yep, 100%. And then the developers behind it were like, but we're going to do a ARK remastered. But to get ARK remastered, you have to pre-order ARK 2, which has been delayed to next year. And we're going to turn off our official servers at the same time, current ARK. So you can still play current ARK, but only on private servers. Or it will become that at the release of the remaster anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, and the bundle was going to be $50 for ARK 2 and ARK Remastered. Then they did a post going, hold up, we get it. You're really upset and we're really sorry. So it's not bundled anymore. It's separate and it's $10 more.
Do not give these alleged thieves your money. Do not give them your money.
Don't do that. Don't fall for that shit. Holy God.
I can't believe ARK 1 is actually finished. There's no way that game is finished.
Yeah.
I've played it. That's not finished.
It's always been a bit of it. Like, I've always enjoyed it and I've played it. I've binged it a lot. When I first got it, I think I literally binged it for a good 4 weeks and got like well over a couple of 100 hours in it. But yeah, some of the decisions they've made in the past, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to fix all these things while simultaneously releasing expansions whilst half of the game's still broken, and then we're going to take people's mods and make it native to the game, but don't tell the mods or credit them in any kind of way, and just weird stuff like that, basically.
I've been informed in my chat
in that game.
I've been informed in my chat that ARK 2 is also going to have Vin Diesel in it. Really? That weirdo?
Yeah, he's co-director, I think. He's like massively funding it.
Wow. I mean, I don't hate Vin Diesel. He's just a massive weirdo.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
that's
hate Vin Diesel. I hate the ARK developers, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any like opinion. I don't know much about the ARK developers until we're saying allegedly, the alleged thieves, but like they also got a massive weirdo too. That's fucking great.
Yeah, and they're changing the type of game it is. So obviously current ARK is like first-person survival. They're going to go with something that has more Dark Souls combat, they've said, basically, and more action combat.
So everyone's doing...
Okay, well, I mean, the combat did... So, I mean, I didn't like... I have 264 hours in, and I didn't like the game. I know that's weird to say, but it was a janky mess. I did a lot of role play through it on different servers and stuff. I never... The base game, I don't... No. Server stuff, that was cool, but like there are other developers making that work, not the actual developers. And it wasn't finished. And they're like, hey, you want some DLC? No, I want this game. Just make this one work, please. Can you make this one work?
Yeah. You'd think with having him involved that maybe he will hold them to a higher standard, potentially.
What kind of experience does Vin Diesel have in producing a video game?
Wasn't he involved with Butcher Bay?
Was he? I know. I don't really know much of what he's been doing lately.
Butcher Bay is phenomenal, by the way. Go play that. It's so good.
Is he not the voice actor in it?
Yeah.
At the very least.
Oh, he was. He was. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's worked in games before. And I imagine
he also did.
But now he's producing a large video game. This is the large game.
I suspect for the most part he's just funding it.
I think he's funding it. Yeah. I wouldn't say he has any part in it other than like is his likeness in it, because he's really big on like his face.
Yeah, he is in it. That's another thing as well.
It's a vanity project for him.
Yeah, like the NPCs do seem to have backstories to them and stuff as well. So it's not you just wake up as anonymous on the beach and have to not get eaten by a dinosaur kind of thing.
I don't trust
Vin Diesel. As Vin Diesel.
Maybe as Vin Diesel. Maybe he's Toretto. Who knows?
They have built up no goodwill to me whatsoever.
If you could put ARK 2 into Google, like one of the top searches is Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is Vin Diesel. Jesus. Just
he's just half naked riding a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
There he is.
It's the boy.
It's the boy.
aside from obviously their stupid decisions in the past, and obviously
It'll
what
be
we've
a
just
mess.
witnessed.
It'll be very expensive. They already proved that they're going to bump up the price and give you less for it anyway. They have not changed. They have allegedly not changed, and I don't think you should give them any money until the proof is in the pudding, right? If that game comes out and it's good, then buy it. Don't pre-order this? They will. I don't trust them. I personally do not trust
them.
What do you think with regards to them turning off the official servers?
Yeah, this is a scummy move.
Yeah.
That is just like, oh, you need to buy our new game again, which you can't even get when you buy ARK 2 anymore.
Not to play devil's advocate, but do we know how many people play on the official servers compared to private servers? Just to try and get some understanding behind the decision.
If you're playing and you're not part of a big community that plays on servers, even people who play on servers still play the game, right?
You can still play on private servers, though. That's what I'm saying. So, like, is it a case that public servers just don't actually have that many people on them, and they're like,
but the second their remaster comes out, which there is a strong possibility, that will be broken on launch. There is a possibility, and they're just going to turn it off the second that new game comes on. So if you do play on public servers, I'm sure loads of people do.
No, so that's what I'm saying. They're turning off the public servers at release of the remaster.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's scummy as fuck.
That's super scummy, dude.
There's no
That's
grace
so
period, nothing. If you want to continue to play publicly with everyone else, you need to buy their remaster.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, do we know how many people are?
Does it matter?
Publicly? From a business perspective, it could not be retaining or making enough money to break even.
Okay, so you give less servers. Yeah, you cut down the size of your servers because your player base is going to be moving to another game. You cut down the size. You don't go, oh no, you want to play this? You have to buy a new one. That's what they're saying.
I think my favorite part about ARK 2 is I'm looking at some of like how Vin Diesel has been promoting it, and my favorite line of his is, "Any real gamers excited for ARK 2?" So,
real gamers,
which is very ironic.
He's
very
on the
ironic.
real gamer card.
Damn, he's got me. He's got me.
He's got me. I thought you both really appreciate it.
Well, the thing is, he said that, which is really ironic.
He's also apparently turning ARK Survival Evolved into a movie.
Oh no.
That's what this article claims, but I'm just like, I just want to look into this.
So he owns the IP now. Is that
he
why
absolutely owns
he has
the IP.
a lot of money in it for sure. Like
he probably either owns the IP or he's partner with it.
I hope he's brought his own people in then. But it doesn't. It sounds like it's the same old company. Like, looking at that is the same old company.
I think they're doing an anime as well.
Look at who you have. Too,
I'm not even kidding.
They can't even make one game that works, Brian. They can't even make one game that works.
But also look at who they have too. Is like Vin Diesel, who is basically a mastermind. Who's a mastermind in milking a franchise. Like look at the Fast and Furious franchise. Like he's gonna. I mean, they struck gold.
Franchise.
No, it's fine. Like the movies are very okay for me. I don't really like them that much personally, but they're okay. They're fun.
I'm a car guy, so there's probably a lot more in there for me.
It's a popcorn movie. Like you could just watch it and be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Like my old office, like one of my old jobs, was not too far from where Paul Walker passed away. So like they have like a whole the whole street's a memorial to him. Right. But like I know about the movies. They're just like not really for me. But I'm just saying, like, you got this man who's like, how many of them are there now? They're like, what, fucking 20? Like,
they're literally doing 10 at the moment.
Vin Diesel was executive producer on Butcher Bay, and I think he financed it.
He probably did.
Is a brilliant game.
So all I'm saying is the ARK developers have struck gold with Vin Diesel. That's basically my point.
In terms of marketing, yeah. Although what he said about real gamers is really ironic. Though.
I'm
downright.
He is right. He is right. I am not a real gamer, because I'm not excited for ARK 2.
At the Game Awards, he mispronounced the name of a bunch of like some of the best known games in the industry, and it was just like, I think Rodriguez was there as well.
Because he's a real gamer, Brian.
Yeah, so it's just a bit ironic that he's like, oh yeah, and I think he was like Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that, and just completely like butchered the names of some games.
But what if he was trying to rage fuel?
I doubt
Like,
it.
what if this whole thing?
He's a
feel like-
real gamer.
He's a real gamer.
Yeah, I suspect it was more of he just didn't know. It's my
don't-
honest opinion.
He doesn't seem like the most. He doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed. And like I said, he's also like a massive weirdo.
Right. That's fair play. That's fair play. Moving on.
When you
then.
say weirdo, do you mean like bad weirdo or good weirdo?
Like he's like there's a famous clip of him where like he was being interviewed by this woman and he got like really creepy with her. Like things like that.
Right.
Massive
Allegedly,
weirdo.
or that happened?
No, I'm not.
It's not even
Yeah, it was like a
alleged,
while
or-
ago. No, that's not alleged. It's true. He got really weird. Who was it? Drew Gooden did a really good video on Vin Diesel.
Well, now I need to dive into Vin Diesel lore, apparently.
And then we'll get a message in a couple of hours after the podcast. It's like, oh my God, we're just waiting for you to link us the things. And we're like, yes, he's done the research for us. Haha. But moving on to another company being complete deckheads, Monster
Again.
Energy.
Oh God, yeah, them.
Again, it's not even like the first time. It's not even the second time. They have done it so many times. They've had one case at least against like a fishing game, I think it was. And the company making the fishing game won. But for those not in the know, Monster are going after an indie dev because their game is called Dark Deception, Monsters and Mortals. So it's Monsters plural for a start. I don't think the game's logo looks anything like Monsters, but Monster are like, nope, you can't do that. You've got to rename your game.
So, and there was a game they went after, and I'm not sure if it was Monster Hunter.
Yeah, they went after Monster Hunter. They went after
Monster Hunter and
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The-
yeah.
the
You're gonna win
problem-
that one.
The problem is, do you know what those large companies did to Monster? They fucking paid them.
Which is interesting because Ubisoft didn't. Because it's Ubisoft. Of course they didn't. But Ubisoft renamed Gods and Monsters to Immortal Phoenix Rising, even. So yeah.
Oh, Mortals Phoenix Rising. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mentioned that in my chat just now about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, how much money? Well, I mean, Monster probably has a lot of money themselves too.
Oh yeah, Monster are fucking
So-
loaded. But they
Yeah,
literally
so-
have like 200 of these. Like it's in the hundreds. They have gone after so many stupid trademark things just because of the word monster, including Pokemon, which doesn't even have technically in all their trademarks monster in the name.
Because it's Pocket Monsters in Japan, not in
Right.
the States.
But like, how stupid! Like, I get it. You have to protect your trademark, but
But it's not even.
their argument is, oh, people might get confused when you speak about Dark
Yeah.
Maybe-
Descent or Dark Deception,
maybe
Monsters
they're-
and Mortals, and buy an energy drink or buy a computer game instead of an energy drink. Like,
But
Oh, that
they
happens
famously
so
put
often.
Monster. They famously put Monster in fucking Death Stranding.
They did
So
that as
maybe
well, yeah.
like, so maybe they're trying to be like, well, we've already dipped our toes in gaming. We are present.
yes,
like,
so
in Death
now
Stranding.
everyone will
the thing
think our
about
game or
Monster
drink is a
is
game.
they do support
Yes.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Monster is quite important for like loads of sports and motorsports, and they're involved in games. And they
On
do,
their terms, though,
well,
it's on their terms.
but they are essentially pushing these things forward with their money. But they support a lot of stuff, and now it's because companies before have gone, I cannot be arsed with this. There you go. There's a couple $100,000. Like, I don't just go away. And now there. Like, what does that set a precedent though? It was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
settled out of court, right? So
oh yeah, no doubt. Because I don't think
So-
I've heard any of
Not.
these going to trial.
Actually, now I think about it, I don't know because surely you could lose your trademark if you settle and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. You paid us a bag of money.
Mm.
Because can you
Well-
license a trademark? If you've first gone after it and gone, no, that's breaching our trademark. Can you go, oh,
yeah,
sorry, no,
but
we
then
were
if
wrong.
you drop, you can drop anything, like any suit, right? You can just drop it, and then
can
it doesn't
you?
go through to get. Well, you can, because then you settle out of court, which is
Yeah, but
what
if you-
they want to do, right?
do
They just
then-
want some money.
What I'm saying is because you are obligated to defend your trademark. So then are you
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that it's not a breach and you're backing out, or are
Well,
you just
no,
dropping
because-
it, or Like, are you admitting
all
fault?
settlements out of court are private, so no
Right.
one is privy to the information.
Yeah, but if you're obligated by law, by legislation to defend it, and you went to defend it, and then you pulled out, what legal ramification does that have? Is what I'm trying to say. Because if you're pulling out, then you've given up that legal obligation.
Well, no, because you still defended it, and then the person has settled against you, or
Yeah,
for you.
so you've pulled out of doing it effectively, haven't you?
Yeah, but you did protect it. You did attempt to protect it, right?
Is that enough? Do we
don't
know?
know.
Do we have any
Maybe,
lawyers,
I don't
trademark
know.
lawyers in the chat?
I'm not a lawyer, so I can't tell you any of that.
Right, that's fair. But yeah, so it's Monster, very, very peculiar with their decision making. As I mentioned, there is I think it was a fishing game. It was something like that. There's a game that it was on the WAN show where Linus
is
Tech
it
Tips.
Monster Catch or something like that?
Something silly like that.
Probably.
Again, they tried to claim it was the logo. They went after a basketball team, like some grizzly bear basketball team or something like that. And because it had like slashes in the logo, but they looked nothing like the slashes that Monster used for their logo.
Like I said, they're really supportive of like sports teams, apparently, and video games, and all these different kinds of like, you know, they got their hands in everyone's pockets because they're owned by Coca-Cola. So uninformed.
Oh,
We've lost Pulp. Pulp
we've lost Pulp.
actually
Play
panicked
the
there
sad
because you
music.
didn't move either. So I was like, oh no,
Oh.
it's on my end.
I
kind of thing.
didn't want to move in case I broke it more.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we've just briefly lost Pulp. Let's just have a gander.
We have lost a Pulp. Does anyone know? Can I get some F's in the chat for Pulp, please? She's dead now. Oh.
She gone. So oh, she's coming back.
Oh. Hey, buddy.
You back with us, Pulp?
Hey. Oh.
Okay, we've got you back.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm holding it. There we go. I got it fixed.
We
Jesus.
Gucci. We Gucci.
Jesus. Oh my
Re-
God.
No need to refresh, boys and girls. It was just one person. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. But let's move on to a lot of these other subjects. Then there's quite
There's
a
a
few.
lot of stuff. There's quite some.
All I was
quite
saying
some
was that
things.
everything's always been on their terms. So
Yes.
like, yeah, they're very supportive of different. You know, they are present in Death Stranding. They support all these different sports teams, so on and so forth. Someone informed me in my chat that they're owned by Coca-Cola. So everything that they do is always on their terms. So when it's not on their terms, they see the word monster or slash monster, they go rage mode, and then they go in and they're gonna they're gonna make you pay.
Is
That's
it rage mode or like because
It's monster mode.
patent? It's monster mode. Nice. Pan it. Oh my god! Quick, pan it before they get you. Pulp. No, that's where her internet went. They took her down.
Oh, damn it! Monster's after me because they're the American company. I think so.
I'm just waiting for them
Coca-Cola's
to
American.
DMCA this podcast just because we keep saying monster.
Say well, that's true. The word or idea of monster never existed before a soft drink company actually created the word monster.
And scratches with claws.
Yeah, that never happened before. No one ever got scratched before.
Never saw around here.
No,
wow.
you're screwed if you have, because then they could come after you and
They-
DMCA you.
I think they're just doing a patent troll thing and hoping to get a payoff. Good, like
It seems like the only logical thing. 'cause
Easy
you'd
money.
think that
It's
they'd
easy
be
money, to be
aware of
honest.
how stupid it is to go after the
yeah,
many
there's no way
that
they
they've gone after.
think what they're saying.
Yeah, they
there's
can't.
no
And
And
way
also
they
knowing that they're owned by Coca-Cola as well, you know they have that kind of money that they could bully these developers around, or these like, yeah, it's all power
in
play.
their
They're just
own
trying to
right,
get
they've got a lot
more
of
money.
for sure.
America.
Hmm.
That's just the American way.
Yeah, it's
More money.
it's crazy, unfortunately. But speaking of monsters, perhaps of the like weird alien demon variety,
Mm-hmm.
Doom.
Doom.
Dude,
What a terrible idea. But I fucking love
I think
Doom.
it's an awful idea. It's also so weird. I was saying that you told me when I saw it was on Peacock. I mean, I can imagine that the streaming service gives them a lot more leeway to get around censors. But like for the longest time, it's like NBC really, Doom really.
Oh yeah. What are we talking about, Brian? We haven't said. We jumped into it.
Doom.
Doom, the
Oh,
live
Doom.
action TV show.
Yeah.
Live action
Okay,
TV show.
pop
My
off.
bad. I went straight in. I popped off.
Boom!
It's
Like
just,
a monster
Doom-
lawsuit just went for
I
it.
know Doom live action on Peacock, the NBC streaming service. That's an interesting choice. I think they're trying to get that that HBO money, but I don't think whenever you associate Peacock, don't you usually think of like Parks and Rec, The Office, American
don't have
We
it
even
in-
get
obviously.
Peacock here because I don't think we do.
Yeah, I
know.
don't believe we do. If it is a thing, it'll
so
be very
like
small.
so this goes more to like the states, like people who are stateside, Jesus. What we always associate is like, it's like sitcoms. It's like
Right.
where you go to watch some sitcoms. So them turning into a live action Doom show, it's like, which I'm assuming they're going to try and emulate HBO. Because they struck gold with Last of Us. Last of Us did it very well, and
they
I would
often
love
have
a
the
Doom
same budget?
sitcom. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Well, NBC has a lot of money for
Right.
sure. They have a lot of fucking money. I mean, there's like 30 Rock, which is all about
specific
NBC.
streaming thing, or is it a subsidiary?
It's on the streaming service, but like I know they have a lot of money because they have like there's shows like 30 Rock where they have like celebrities, and the whole premise of that series is just about takes place I think at NBC or something, or an NBC show.
Right.
But a Doom sitcom would be great. If they went that way, like the one camera sitcom, or they could do like like the mockumentary.
Did you
But
guys ever
I
see the Doom crossover with Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing, yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
was
would be like
one of
that. That would be majestic. I would watch the
That'd be
shit out
good.
of that.
I would watch the shit out of it too.
But they won't make it. That's too much.
Yeah,
That's
My
too
only thing is
scary.
that my only thing is that we had a Doom movie already with The Rock,
Mm.
and
We've had
it
two.
wasn't good.
So
Like when you
the-
think of do you really
okay.
think about just like this is just an objective question, or like an actual like legitimate question? How much do you think of the lore of Doom
a lot.
when you play the game? You do. I
Yeah.
know you do.
I'm a boomer shooter boy.
I'm a
My
boomer shooter
problem with-
girl, but I don't really know much about the lore because I never really paid that close attention to it.
I think it's fair to say that Peachy is an exception in this case. Like I think.
God damn
Well,
it!
like,
no, because like,
I think it's
modern
niche.
Doom is different to
lore is
old
niche.
Doom.
Like
Doom
chat.
was like the most installed game on any computer. It was installed on more computers than Windows.
Yeah, but
okay,
we're talking lore-wise.
Windows.
Yeah, we're talking about lore.
What would you able to turn into? I'm not talking about the game itself. I'm talking about like the lore itself. The
This
lore
is my
about surrounding
problem.
what could you make into a live-action sitcom?
Okay, the first Doom
Because obviously
movie,
the movies apparently there are two movies failed.
Yeah, the first movie. Well, the second one didn't actually really fail, but the first movie is terrible. I love it. I love it's like like
It's
a pug.
cheesy as
It's
hell.
like ugly, but it's so cute. That's the first Doom movie. Like it's got the curly tail with the first person section and the monster design and stuff. But everything else around it needs constant vet attention, otherwise it will die.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. And the second movie is actually
we're talking, like,
much better written. And there is if that had more than $4 as the budget, that could have been a good movie.
See, okay, so that's fair. But what we're seeing is like us outside of it being a guilty pleasure, the first movie. Because I think, because I know my fiance has mentioned the first person section too, that he loved that part too. And, the lack of budget for the second movie, I mean, it still sounds like it kind of falls into the category of just guilty pleasure.
But,
And we're
well,
trying,
no,
I'm assuming.
the second one
Well,
is
maybe.
not good, but it's like if
Oh,
if
you said
got the
you said there were
budget-
good things
Well,
in it.
Yeah. So if you
Okay.
had the budget from the first one and the effort and care of the second one, you got a great Doom movie.
There's that's like I'm willing to keep my mind open, like in that aspect of like, okay, like maybe there's something more we could do, like let's keep your mind open. And like I said, NBC is like odd choice, but they do have the budget. I just don't think I've seen their kind of like the same kind of I'm assuming the quality that they're going to aim for is something like HBO, because the HBO seemed to have been they did really well with Last of Us, so it makes sense for them to want to like other streaming services, other
That's a
networks
narrative
wanting.
game, though. Do you know? You've got a
Yeah,
story
yeah,
there.
that's-
You've
that's
got
the other-
writing there.
True, and that's why I mentioned the lore about Doom. Like, I don't think anybody really pays that close attention to Doom lore in comparison to the Last of Us lore, because that whole game is all about the narrative. Whereas when you play like look what happened with Halo. Like Halo has a pretty decent story with all the storybooks, and I like the lore. But then but that's a whole different situation because I think the showrunners didn't actually care about the games at all.
100%,
At all. Yeah. So actually a bad example. But when it comes to Doom and it's not exactly, it doesn't fall into that same category of having a good a good story structure to
There's
support
different lore there, though, depending on the era of Doom. Like Doom.
I'm talking about
1,
I'm more referring to like how like the fan base would react to it. Like you don't.
Isn't also the rights for like the modern Doom different to the older Doom?
No idea. We don't even know
I'm
what
just
rights
asking-
this sitcom
I would like to be
is gonna
hopefully
have.
optimistic.
Sitcom.
I would like to be
I
hopefully
wish it was a sitcom.
I would like to be optimistic about it, but I don't have a lot of optimism considering that this isn't a narrative based franchise, so it's not really going to. I don't know what they could actually do for a TV series to support it. I mean, if they have good writers, possibly.
Yeah, I think in
The
line
gang
with
gets
what
a big fucking gun. There you go. The gang gets a big fucking gun. That would be good. Dude, that
Yeah.
would be so good if they did an Always Sunny Doom.
yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be pretty cool.
I
That
would
would be
watch
pretty cool.
that. That's one of my favorite shows.
It's always sunny in hell.
It's Always Sunny in Hell.
But
It depends if they go Argent. There's a lot more meat there in the Argent storyline, or if they go
Yeah.
Doom 3, which is kind of what the first movie was. The first Doom game is just this the Doom guy. There's demons, and at the end, in the second one,
What's the
he's
Doom guy's
avenging the
name?
life of his pet rabbit. You can do anything with Doom.
the
You
thing
could
is,
do a lot with Doom. It's just we have. I guess I'm more casting my doubts because historically we haven't seen anything good. Like good.
Oh, it's going to suck. 100%.
It's going to
I agree
suck.
With you. It's going to suck. But
I
imagine
wanted
if
to
you
have.
didn't-
I want to have fun watching Doom. That would be great
Yeah,
watching Doom.
If it's fun, how many successful video game shows are there? We've got like The Witcher, people like that, right?
so,
Yeah, I didn't
so
really
we're
watch
talking
it.
just live action.
Yeah.
like like series, and we've got The Last of Us,
In terms of
which
series,
is
yes.
also apparently good. I've
and
not seen
Halo.
any of them.
And Halo. There was Halo.
Well, everyone is
but we-
shat on Halo constantly,
Yeah.
so I don't think that's good.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Pope, you
I'm
said
salty
earlier
about
that
that
Halo
one.
was a bad example. I would say it's potentially a good example because they could do the same thing with Doom. Like
That's
we were
true,
saying,
too.
not a lot of people know Doom's lore.
I guess so. You have two different categories. This could actually I guess three, because you have The Last of Us where they did a really good job like taking care of the franchise, getting casting really good people,
That's
getting
one
really
to
good
one,
writers.
right? Last of Us.
Relatively,
That's
yeah.
Last of Us. Then you have The Witcher, where you had someone like Henry Cavill who really loved the franchise and wanted to treat it with care, but you had people who worked on it who didn't give a shit, and then we saw what happened to it. And then you have Halo, which we don't talk about. Halo is the child we don't talk about.
And something to
Because
bear in
that-
mind, we over here in the UK have never heard of Peacock. We've heard of HBO because HBO does shows like Game of Thrones,
do you-
Last of Us, and
in
stuff.
the-
If
In the
we-
UK, have you heard of the UK or excuse, have you heard of the UK? Have you heard of MEC?
No, we've not heard of them either. But
Okay.
even if we had, we still haven't heard of Peacock.
Where
If
was
we've not
Game
heard-
of Thrones streamed from over here?
Sky.
It was Sky, was
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's
But
HBO.
even then, people in the UK know of HBO, HBO Max, HBO Go, whatever they've renamed it. They're now renaming it again to just Max, I believe. But yeah, so like we've heard of HBO. We've never heard of Peacock.
Oh wait, that's right. We had Arcane. That's right. There was another show, Arcane. That was Netflix.
Yeah, Arcane was
And,
Netflix and an animation.
Oh,
so
Arcane is amazing. I
Yeah.
forgot about Arcane.
I forgot.
But that's not
see, I
live
didn't watch
action,
it.
is it?
yeah,
No,
we're
we're
specifically
talking.
about
We're
live
talking
action.
live action here. We're like specifically focusing on that, and I guess we're getting a Fallout too, which Fallout could there is some good ideas there with Fallout because it's a narrative heavy game, and I think when games are more narrative heavy, it kind of gives the developers more
It's
of
a
a
moment to
or the
moment
showrunners more.
story game. I wouldn't say it's a narrative. Their narratives suck.
There is a lot of narrative in it. That's what I mean.
One
Is
But
that a
like
lot
it's
more,
the moment to moment storytelling and world building. That's the meat
Yeah,
of a Fallout game, right? The story
yeah,
is
but I think
nonsense.
that lends it a lot more. It lends you like potential showrunners a lot more to work with. Whereas with Doom, it's like just
Yeah,
shooting,
but there
is
shooting.
so
And
much
so
in
is,
Doom
and so
like
is Halo.
that.
Halo. There, I know.
Yeah, but the thing with Doom is not a lot of people know about it, and then the studio could be like, well, no one cares about Doom's lore because all they know is that it's a guy who fights demons. Most people see Doom as that, so if they don't think it's worthwhile, in the same way they didn't with Halo, and it's a relatively, what I'd assume, a small budget broadcaster.
So there's a lot of people who knew what Halo was, like not, and we're talking outside of gaming, like
Yeah.
who knew what Halo was because Halo was like the longest time. That was the biggest boomer shooter. That was the biggest shooter at the time.
And to be clear, I'm not
And-
saying that a lot of people didn't know about Halo's lore. I'm saying that the studio thought that not a lot of people knew about it because they were
No,
like,
they
it's a video game.
they were trying to bank. They were trying to bank on the name. That was
Yeah,
it.
just the
I-
The
name.
name,
would
and
like to-
everyone knows who Master Chief is. You just all you do is just he's used as a avatar for Xbox at this point. You see him everywhere. So
I
you
would
don't.
like
All you have
to
to do is put
quickly
Master
point
Chief in.
out that the Fully Rendered podcast does not think that Halo was a boomer shooter.
I like Halo.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
play
a
it all
boomer
the time.
shooter. It's got
Well,
regenerating
people call it a
shields.
boomer shooter.
No, they
you
don't.
know.
You call it a boomer shooter. Okay. Right. Okay. Next episode, boomer shooter lore.
Okay, boomer shooter.
Anything after Half-Life, probably not a boomer shooter.
Sure, but there
Okay,
are people. There are
someone
people who
made fun
call.
of me and said I like boomer shooters when I said I liked Halo, so that's where I got it from. So my bad if I'm on the wrong one.
No,
I'm only-
no,
I'm
no,
only
no. To
roasting
be
you,
clear,
dude.
there are other people who do call Halo a boomer shooter. Whether they're right or wrong is like obviously his own argument.
Okay,
But there
well,
are people
okay,
who do that.
I stand corrected. My apologies.
No, but the
Jeez.
thing with Doom, it's got like they've changed the lore. Like the first two games are kind of in the same lore. Then you've got the third one, it's got this whole new thing, and then you've got like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal has a whole new Argent lore going on.
Mhm.
Would I care? I'm not sure I would care. As long as
If they
Doom
did-
Guy is a badass, I don't think I would.
I
care.
like Doom Eternal. They probably could do something really sick with Doom Eternal, but it's all about like I don't. This is like it's so up in the air in this one too because like I said, it's NBC who's taking the reins on this, and it's such an odd choice because like I don't know what kind of I don't think they have an experience. They've shown much unless correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody's listening knows, if they've ever shown any experience in the past of utilizing this kind of like material and making it cohesive for people, and we're talking cohesive for people who are not fans of Doom. That's the point of like when it comes to these like live action TV shows, you want to bring in more of a bigger audience. So you can't just make a niche show just for like just for fans of the actual game.
Like
It would
when they
be
made
for-
Dredd, like Dredd is the perfect Judge Dredd movie, but people outside of Dredd are like, huh?
Yeah, and like so we're thinking like a lot of people start really enjoy, and I'm talking people who are not fans of, who are not gamers, really enjoyed the Last of Us series. It did extremely well, and there's a lot of people who I saw someone pointing out that The Witcher was more about the books than the games, but I'm using The Witcher as an example because more people know about the games than the
Yeah.
books. Some people played only the games and didn't even know there were books, so we're going to associate with as a game in this context. What you want to do is bring in a bigger audience, not just specifically the niche people who are fans of that kind of specific material, like that franchise. So with Doom, I'm curious how they would be able to do this because first off, we haven't seen any historical evidence that NBC would be able to handle that, and the last two examples of Doom were two movies that were rather subpar at best.
Is it a land grab? Because The Last of Us is probably
I'm
earning a lot
interested-
of money.
Yeah, it's
Potentially.
totally a money grab. It's totally a money grab, and well, I would like to be hopeful. I just don't know how I feel about it because that's my rationale. I'm just gonna repeat myself at this point.
It's probably gonna suck. It's probably gonna.
It's probably gonna suck.
I
I
suspect
think
it
it's
will
gonna suck
because
unless they
even
do. It's always sunny in hell. That's all I want.
Yeah, I suspect it will also be bad because with it being, albeit a sub company of CNBC or is it NBC?
NBC, yes.
NBC, yeah. So even though it's like a sub company of NBC, we've still never heard of Peacock. So that makes me think they're going to have a low budget. a low budget sci-fi
NBC
anything is going to be bad.
would have a high budget. That's what's so crazy about it. Is NBC is one of our biggest networks in the States.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having a big, expensive, high budget parent company and then having sub companies and child companies under it.
That's
they have their own budget.
Again, it falls back with what I said. Odd choice. I don't even know what to expect from NBC at this aspect at this point, because they do, like, everybody knows in the States that they're huge companies. They're like one of the main, like they're on the same page. It's like, we're not talking like news networks. We're talking like Fox Network. Like people know, like that's where The Simpsons was. So NBC, you had like The Office was on there when the US version of The Office. We had 30 Rock. We had Parks and Rec, which are all massive successes in the States, but those are all sitcoms too. They're like comedy series. So that's why I'm like, it's such an odd choice to me.
yeah. But so yeah, I think it's going to be sucky because very likely low budget, but also have you noticed that the ones that are good, even including non-live action, the ones that are good are the ones that have the devs directly involved. Last of Us had Naughty Dog involved and Neil Druckmann.
I'm looking into it. What was this?
Like, does Doom have the devs involved in any way?
The movie is apparently streaming on NBC. I'm checking that out right now.
The movie rights are separate to Bethesda its rights of their stuff.
It's even worse.
So it depends which rights they've got. I assume who made the Doom movie, because I assume the second one was literally just, we need to retain the rights, like they do with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We're just gonna pump it out somewhere no one cares.
Oh man, that is sci-fi. What sci-fi? No, they're not. No, they didn't.
Like, is it just a case of they got the license, or are they actually collaborating directly with them?
Universal Pictures distributed.
Universal.
Yeah, that's
Universal.
So
I mean, this is still like
is
a
that for the
rumor
movie,
too, right?
or is that for who's doing? Because obviously, if it's Peacock,
Well,
do they just have a license?
Is
or?
that not the
rumor
rights for
The rumor
live
says
action?
that a live action Doom series is reportedly
parent
in the works for
organization
NBC.
of Universal is NBC.
Yeah, NBC's huge. Like I said, they're massive here. The Peacock series would completely ignore the previous two Doom movies, which would probably be the best idea. It doesn't say. I mean, this is just the rumor mill. So I don't. I'm not finding any.
If we've got no confirmation, if we've got no confirmation that the actual devs are involved, then that also has me quite skeptical or cynical.
Which devs do you involve, though? Like,
well, the current IP owners, I would assume, but
well, no, it's completely separate.
I mean, Universal, NBC. There's massive money.
Well,
like they have a lot of money. That's all I'm saying with that. So
yeah, John Romero on board.
The movie would be called Doom: Temple of Blood. It would be awesome. I would watch that.
I don't know. I mean, I'll keep my eye out for it because I'm not like a big, massive Doom fan. But I mean, like I said, like Peacock, NBC's odd choice, but they did like it. Universal's also kind of known for doing like kind of goofy shit, huh? Damn, I was just gonna say they could do something. No, they do goofy shit.
Yeah.
It could be. I think it's gonna be goofy as hell, and I'm fine with that. I like goofy shit.
Yeah, I
Doom needs to be an action movie, right? Can you do that with a show?
But,
with the budget
Universal's known for doing like they did like the Mummy and stuff, like the Universal monsters. Like they could do action.
The bisexual awakening movie, The Mummy, with Brandon Fraser.
Yes.
Just checking.
I think, dude, okay. So like I would love it if they did something just like over the top goofy as hell with Doom, and then like but still like somehow integrate the lore. They could do something kind of
Doom
fun like
is
that.
goofy though.
I know, that's why I say it's goofy
you have
as hell.
to make it goofy.
I
right?
was more concerned that they might be wanting to do something serious like how The Last of Us was. But if they make it goofy as hell,
Can you imagine it serious.
This could be so fun. This could be really fun.
I don't know how to tell you this, Doctor, but we've accidentally opened a portal to hell.
Oh my god, that'd be so good though. If they went full on serious and made it goofy as hell, but like they say these goofy ass lines, serious as hell, like played straight, you'd be like, oh my god, this is amazing.
This is perfect. Yeah, that's what they need to do.
They gotta.
Are we
they
talking like
gotta make it
sincerely bad?
I've come around, guys. You witnessed a full like 180 on me. I come around. It's gonna be if it's goofy as hell, I'm 100% on board.
Like the characters are taking everything very seriously.
Yes,
right? But it's just this goofy Doom plot, which is ridiculous.
and like I want crazy like CGI.
Yeah, can they afford that? Well, I mean, you're saying they're massive.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Yes, but can someone making a Doom live action afford that? Because the company has money, but are they going to be like, oh, sure.
I want to see like Constantine levels.
Let's go.
Who did Constantine? I can't remember, but I want to see like Constantine levels of like fucking hell, like coming out like everywhere. With the green screens and all that shit. It'll be great. If they make it goofy, it would probably do really well.
Well, you've heard it here first.
That's how you make that win.
You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Doom, the new sitcom coming to Peacock soon. But moving on, we've got
endorsed by the Fully Rendered Podcast.
Yeah.
Put out your posters, NBC.
Let's go.
Moving on.
Let's go. I'll accept a check.
Oh no, it's sad times. Oh.
It's sad times. Why is it sad times?
Because the next thing on the docket.
Oh, Dark and Darker. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, they're being bitches over there at Nexon.
I'm shocked that Nexon would ever be bastards to someone.
Oh my god.
For those who don't know, is it just one guy who is at Dark and Darker was previously at Nexon, and then they've just started a massive beef alleging that he's taken a load of their assets, hasn't provided any evidence allegedly for legal reasons.
No, they did provide evidence, but not of him stealing anything. They provided evidence that they bought a lot of store-bought assets.
Right. And that
that's awesome.
Is it a case that they just happen to be both using the same assets, or that from the same store, or?
So there's a couple of things. There is a lot of assets in the game that Nexon were making, which is probably dead, but maybe not now. I don't know. This guy was working on this game, right? He wanted to make this game, and then the Dark and Darker dev team grew, and this guy moved to there. And there is a lot of like, oh, you stole this because the art style. This guy's an artist, by the way. The art style is the same because it's the same fucking artist.
Right.
And it's also Dark and Darker is it's a pretty generic fantasy idea of classes and things like that. Like you can't.
It's D&D in a game.
Yeah, that's what it is. Nothing has been copied, and Dark and Darker's legal response was kind of like, no, you're wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Right. But because of this all kicking off, it has been delisted off Steam, I believe.
It has.
Which means...
Yeah, I just noticed it's gone from my library.
For those not aware, they are actually doing a playtest as we speak. If you go to the Dark and Darker Twitter, if you're actually interested in playing it, because it is a fun game. I love Dark and Darker, but if you want to play it at the moment, you have to torrent it from the specific key that they've put out on their Twitter and in their Discord. Actually,
I haven't torrented in years.
Torrents aren't illegal. They're not illegal.
Yeah,
They're not illegal.
Just a way to deliver information to you.
Though,
some torrents could be illegal, but this one is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
It's a torrent.
Yeah, it's an illegal way of sharing data. But so in the Discord, they've posted, rest assured that we are working around the clock to safeguard the continuance of Dark and Darker. Unfortunately, due to the complexities of our situation, especially across international lines, it is taking time to resolve the Steam situation. In order for us to keep our promise to our fans, we've had to go old school this time. And then they've released the aforementioned magnet link for torrenting. So if you are interested, go to the Twitter. Don't use any other source other than their Discord and their Twitter, of course, because otherwise it could be a sketchy file and you could be downloading something very nasty for your PC.
Discord post is essentially, I lived, bitch.
Yeah, basically.
It'll probably be back. It'll probably be back on Steam. But if you're like, everyone who has enjoyed playing it has just tried to play every single beta. They've been like, I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me. But like everyone's like, oh, this is really good. And I played and I'm like, oh, is it?
Yeah, generally, if you're into
Guess
that,
it's not for me then.
yeah, if you're generally into that type of game, it's one of the best types of that type of game that's come out in a while. It's just so fun. It's quick to get in. It's easy to get out. You can literally just dip your toe in for a couple of games and then go about your day. I think it's a fantastic game and hilarious to play with other people. If you like your chivalries and things like that, but want a bit more of a D&D aspect to it, then it's very much the game for you.
It looks like a cool dungeon crawler. It's just for some reason it didn't vibe with me.
I just joined their Discord. I'm gonna go pick that up. I had it. I just never got around to playing it. So
yeah,
might as well do it now.
Well, I wish the best of luck to him because I'm gonna assume that
It looks fun. It looks fun as hell.
And it's a good game. But moving on, the Redfall footage that recently came out for IGN's exclusive. If you pay attention to the bottom of the screen, that has 23,000 dislikes, despite YouTube trying to hide it. There are ways to reveal it. And yeah, people aren't that impressed, which is a massive shame because Arcane.
Yeah,
It's being made by Arcane Studios specifically, the ones who made Dishonored 1 and Prey.
It's funny because I was looking at the I think after the last episode I went onto the Steam page and I was like, let me go, maybe I'll check it out. But the more I looked at the page, I just kept, and I told you I worked on the transcriptions for this the original, like the announcement trailer. So like I saw it like a while back and I thought I was like, it kind of looks a little neato, not awesome, not great, just a little neat.
Yeah.
And when I went to the Steam page, it's like one of those, you know, where you look at a page and you're like, oh, I don't think I want to spend all that money. Maybe if it's like $20,
right.
like I might change my mind. I was at that phase where you just like, you can't even put it in your cart because
you want a value proposition.
Yeah. Pay me.
The big thing I saw about it was it is and probably will forever be running at 30 FPS for a shooter.
Oh God,
So
is that why?
They've said for release it will be at 30 FPS. I think it's only on Xbox though.
There's no
Specifically
performance mode or something.
on Xbox, there is no
Really?
performance mode. On
Oh,
other
but they have it
platforms, there
on-
are. Yeah, so
There are, so it's so some people can play this in
yes,
60.
but people who own the Xbox, who got the Xbox probably because it's the most powerful console, which is how it was marketed by Microsoft, don't get the mode that you would want on the most powerful console. At release, it is allegedly going to come back.
Buying
so
the
much
world's
about the game.
fastest frog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess like that's saying, so that's more saying that the game itself isn't not fun. It's just like more of a performance issue. That's why people are.
So there's that. There's also the fact that there's a guy you can see on screen now, the guy in the hood. He's the boss, and all he seems to do is just run at you. There was a lot of criticism about the gameplay of the guy, the journo playing it. He's playing on a controller. He might be a mouse and keyboard gamer, and it could just be a bit weird, you know, fair play to him. But there was a lot of criticism about the guy who was playing the actual game, and this boss basically just not being much of a boss. There's a lot of criticism about that.
Yeah, it looks.
And then
it
there's
looks
the
pretty
30
goofy.
FPS thing on Xbox as well.
Looks like some goofy shit. I mean, not the good kind of goofy like we were saying with Doom. Like this looks kind of goofy, as in like not fun, not. I mean, like I said, it's like if it was like a $20 game, maybe.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe not for 60 or 70, however much, you know, because the game price has been going up, so I can't tell. Not for the full price.
Right.
That's let me see how much it is. Yeah, yeah, that's not a $70 game.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
It's going to be on Game Pass day one, so that will help a bit, I guess. Hopefully, maybe. Yeah,
I
we'll
guess,
see.
yeah,
We'll
I
see.
do. Yeah, I do have Game Pass. I mean, I think I still have Game Pass. Maybe I'll check it out on there. I'm definitely not a $70 game.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll just quickly dip into these other topics. Mario movie, critics hate it. Normal people, whatever that means, they love it. It's got like 96 on Rotten Tomatoes for the general public, but then the critics gave it like something like 48 or something like that. Apparently, a lot of them don't like it because it's got too much video game in it. It's their argument. The video game adaptation of
It's for kids.
Mario. Yeah, Super Mario is apparently too video gamey for these critics.
It's
Oh,
not
so
my
I assume
Mario.
they rated the
I
original
miss
Super
the
Mario
90s
Brothers movie
Mario.
very high then.
Quite possibly, but the Goombas in that were
because
amazing.
that had nothing to do with the game. So yeah, probably. The people I've spoken to who've seen it are like, yeah, it's okay. No one's like said to me, "Oh my god, watch this right now." They've been like, "No, it was good."
I like that it's brought this resurgence of people talking about the 1990s Mario movie, the ridiculous one where like Yoshi
I
was
watched
a
that
little
2
dinosaur.
weeks ago. It's phenomenal.
It's so good.
I do remember
I
enjoying
watched that
it.
as a kid. I watched the movie as a kid. I love that movie. So
It's terrible.
That's
I
why I
love
was
it so
saying
much.
not my Mario.
Not my Mario.
Yeah.
That's
It-
my
it
Mario.
is a cult classic.
Yeah, it's great. I do. If anything, I'm very thrilled that it's brought a resurgence of people talking about that and wanting to go watch it because it's such a silly. It's so downright silly. I think the only complaint I heard like from people who watched it, and I'm not talking critics, was that people didn't really like Chris Pratt as Mario, which I can kind of see why.
Everything I've
'Cause
seen
it's-
has said that he's done an awesome job. Like I haven't seen a single.
I've
like,
seen more complaints about him than that's it. But then, so I probably saw like only a small amount.
He is kind of unlikable, so maybe it's a bit of
And maybe that I think that's why probably because he's unlikable. And my theory was just that we all associate a specific voice for Mario.
Mm.
So
Well,
so, I
like
mean, it's
some
only a
people
matter
are
of
from the
time
cartoon, the live action bit in between the cartoons. Like
talking the
from
games.
90s.
I'm talking the games specifically.
Yeah,
Like you,
and
there's
then-
a certain
you got that
voice we
dude.
associate.
But then you've got Bob Hoskins Mario voice.
Bob Hoskins is great. He was just that rugged like New York accent. Mario.
They actually did plumbing in that movie. It is a fucking
True.
cinematic
Oh,
masterpiece.
It's so good. What's your name? Mario. What's your last name? Mario.
Mario.
Luigi Luigi Mario.
It was a fantastic film.
It's so good. It's so good.
There's-
I love it.
So critics are once again out of touch with
Yes.
the general pop, but you know they are
Big- big
professionals, and I
surprise
can
there.
understand a disconnect because most people go to see movies, don't care.
It's
They just
for
want to be
kids,
entertained,
dude.
right?
Like at the end of the day, the movie's for kids. Like my nephews love that movie. And
Yeah.
of course they're going to.
The
'Cause it's-
reviews
it's
have
for
been
ki-
overwhelmingly positive. Like even the adults are like, it's a good kids
Oh
movie.
yeah,
kind of thing.
adults are gonna like it if they're a big fan of Mario. I'm not really a big fan of kids movies in general, so like I didn't really go out of my way to go see it. But I wasn't a big Mario fan.
How much Luigi is in the movie?
Oh, yeah, 'cause
A fair
Charlie
bit from
Day's
my
Luigi.
understanding.
Because my little nephew
I mean-
loves Luigi.
I think they're allegedly
Luigi's Mansion's so
considering.
good, dude.
I think they're allegedly considering a Luigi Mansion movie.
See,
Oh,
that
he
would
would
be a
love
cool movie. I would watch the hell out of that. But like, yeah, it struck me from the original trailer. It was a kids movie. It's
Right.
like it's not for us. It's not for critics. It's for like
I'm gonna
your
watch it.
10-year-old nephew.
And I think I'm
I'll
gonna have a
watch
good
it.
time.
I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I just
I'll
haven't
watch
gotten
it
around
when it
to
comes to
watching it.
streaming digitally.
yeah.
Like, it'll probably be good.
That'll be when I watch it as well. But moving on very quickly, so Sony have announced a new handheld. However, it only works on the same Wi-Fi of your PlayStation 5 because it streams your PlayStation 5. So is it really worth it to have a
Oh, that's
handheld?
stupid.
Because it's not a PS Vita 2. It's a streaming PlayStation 5 device. So you connect it to your PlayStation 5. You can't play on your PlayStation 5 at the same time. It's streaming your PlayStation 5 and only within your own network. So you can't take it out and go on a commute somewhere and play it.
Congratulations for inventing the Steam Link. Well
Yeah.
done.
Well, I
You're
mean-
whoa, cutting edge of technology. Well, fucking. Woo!
Yeah, but some people do like to be able to just like play games in bed. They might have a PlayStation in the living room. They can go to the
This-
kitchen. They can go to the
This
couch.
is
and
moving
hang out.
towards
Is that what the
media
Steam Link does?
center type console gaming.
Right.
I don't play
there's
play
nothing wrong with
handhelds at all. Like I made sure to make like I got the Switch that has the dock. I prefer big screens. I don't really when I'm going out and about, I don't really like to play games.
That's
So
fine.
this does nothing for me. But if is that what the Steam Link does? That you can't bring it outside?
So no, that's the Steam Link. So the Steam Link is basically a streaming box.
Oh, Steam Link. Steam
Yeah,
Link.
it's
Never
not
mind.
Stream
Just
Deck.
kidding.
Yeah, Stream Deck you can
It's a
take
little
everything
box.
It's a little
This
box.
is very old.
Stream Deck. I got them mixed up. I got
It's
them
never
mixed
been out
up.
of the box because I don't need this. Why do I own this?
Have it on display. I've actually
I
got
think I
one
have
as well,
this-
but I never actually used it.
Look, Gaben exists, and therefore my PC brain goes, I will buy you.
Yeah, I pretty much did the same thing. It's still in its box as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna,
I got them mixed up. Okay, so the Steam Deck does it's so it's more like a Game Boy.
Switch,
Okay.
but a
Yeah.
more powerful.
Okay,
one.
that's Switch. Yeah, I mean, like the Switch is like I don't. Okay, so yeah, Steam Link. Okay, that's cool.
Do we have any specs on screen resolution? Are we talking OLED? Like,
I think they said
But wait.
OLED, and I think it's 720. Could be
So
wrong.
literally, so this whole thing, you need to. You can't even use it if you don't have a PS5.
Correct. It streams your PS5.
Oh, that's garbage. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just a way to
I
play
can
your
see-
PS5
I
mobily
can see a
around your house.
market for it
Okay.
Yeah.
because
But this
you
is
don't
just
want
a
to be
rumor right
if
now.
you've got a PS5, right, it's going to
Mhm.
be in your main media center next to your TV, right?
Yeah.
If like you're watching a movie and your kids want to play, or your partner's
Okay.
watching something, or you can
That's a good point.
I mean, it's dumb because we all want to see, more Stream Decks on the market, even though I'll never fucking buy one because I have a PC right here. Like,
Yeah.
it's just this whole media center stuff. It's all around your
This
house.
might be just this.
They want to
should
be a PC.
This might be directed just for people with kids. Then.
Pretty much, yeah. It's definitely going to be
Alright.
for your normies rather than your gamers, I would actually.
Mom
So-
said it's my turn on the Xbox.
Yeah, I think they're missing out on some of that younger market that the Switch just completely grabbed, because you can put it into your TV, but you can also take it with you into your room while
Yeah.
Yeah.
your mom's watching whatever.
While
The
Mom's
new
watching
Doom
stories.
sitcom.
The new
The
Doom
movie-
sitcom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to your
Doom
room.
sitcom.
Speaking,
It's her stories.
It's always sunny
mommy
in hell
story
is on.
time.
yeah, speaking of handhelds, just very quickly, Asus are releasing a new beefy version of essentially the Steam Deck. It's been reviewed by Linus Tech Tips. It looks like it's going to be...
It's been looked
Well,
at.
looked
It's
at,
been-
first
they won't let
impressions.
him inside there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, my brain's like, why won't they let Linus in there?
Oh, it's
Is it
just-
because he drops stuff? Maybe.
No,
Is it
probably
because
could
he's
be.
gonna
Could
like
be.
say this isn't quite good enough? That's quite likely.
I don't think it is that. I think it's just more of they're just being protective of their stuff and don't want people to see it yet.
That's
'Cause
what it sounds like to
inevitably,
me.
like, people are going to see it. I don't think they're going to be like, oh yeah, people are going to be pre-ordering this like mad. I think it's just company secrets and legal tape that they've had to go through. 'Cause it
And
happens.
Also, that was a prototype. They probably don't
Yeah.
even have final specs in there.
Exactly.
They're probably using something else.
Maybe they've just put a shell on top of a Stream Deck,
For
a Steam Deck.
God of War Ragnarok fans, New Game Plus has been released, I believe, with some other DLC potentially. But yes, New Game Plus for those
Hopefully
of
there's
you.
some new DLC. That's dope. I haven't played it yet, but I was really stoked when I heard about it.
I think they did something to do with the items, or like they've released some of the gear that was shown in marketing material, something to that effect. But yeah, the New Game Plus
Yeah, I
is the
saw.
big
I
thing.
did see some new armor, like
Yeah.
this big like bear pelt.
Yes, that's
Great.
the one. Yeah.
I need a. I still have to play. I haven't touched God of War, and I think since I beat it, so it's nice incentive to go back to the game.
Yeah. The next topic on the agenda, I'm going to save it for the next half because I think we're going to go ham on that one. But you got Persona 3 and Jet Set Radio remake rumors.
It's a radio, like a proper remake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rumors.
come on.
These are
Oh,
like the Sony handheld is a rumor, but it's like being touted by a very reliable source, whereas this is still definitely rumor. Like, but it's probable. But some big news for any Jet Set Radio fans.
It's
probably more
really
than Persona
hard
3.
to get Jet Set radio running
Mm.
on modern stuff.
Yeah.
It's man, that game is so cool. That game is so cool.
Yeah. For those who hate the existence of loot boxes, Australia has basically slapped devs in their country, saying that if you have loot boxes, paid for loot boxes, your game must be marked as M plus 15, so mature plus 15. So technically, if you're not over 15, you can't buy the game. So yeah, they consider it as gambling.
Good.
So
It
yeah.
is.
I agree with that.
Yep. So
It
that-
is gambling.
So that's
Should be
that's a
18
win.
plus, but good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a start. How about that? It's a start.
yeah, it's definitely something better than nothing. But
Yeah,
we'll-
do you know
agree
what
with
that M15 is? It's like, because anyone who pushes back after that, like it's gambling. Oh no, you should let people like fucking a 12-year-old gamble.
Right.
Like that's probably why it's there, and it'll probably go up to a more sensible number. But
Potentially.
it does seem like
Yeah.
they just went, no, we're doing
It-
this.
It could be an idea of like for them to see like kind of almost like test the waters and see like who exactly will push back on this, because if anybody tries to at all, like kind of what you said, if they argue 12-year-olds should be allowed,
Yeah.
then it's
Right.
like keep an eye on them, maybe like
Yeah,
slap
yeah.
on like some sort of, you know, maybe they'll slap on some regulations on that particular group.
Yeah, definitely some weirdos out there. Let's
Oh, sorry. Surprise mechanics. My bad.
surprise mechanics. Yes. So we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to get ourselves a drink, stretch our legs. We'll be back in the next, let's say, 4 to 5 minutes, and
Okay.
we'll see you shortly. And Mike's will be hot.
Mike's will be hot.
Hot. And welcome back to part 2 of episode 6 of the Fully Rendered podcast. Moving on to the subject that we skipped in the previous.
Oh, I'm so excited.
EA are no longer selling physical copies of games in South Africa.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. I thought we were talking about Jet Force for a second. I was getting really excited.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck EA.
Yeah, that's like.
Why?
Surely that's not a small amount of people. like
I don't imagine so. No.
that's quite a chunk.
Oh no, not physical copies.
I
So,
still buy
do you
physical
not
copies
care?
on occasion.
I mean, okay, this probably sounds weird for me because I collect retro video games. But I haven't bought a physical game for such a long time. I
Yeah,
got a
that's fair.
secondhand Actually, I got a secondhand copy of Animal Crossing, Assassin's Creed New Horizons. I mean, because it was cheap. Like I don't.
Well, like
I have no
some
room.
games-
It is full of skulls and plastic miniatures back there. There's no
yeah,
room
but that's
for video
you.
games.
Yeah.
When it comes to with physical copies, like for example, because I have two, I live with someone else who also is a gamer. It's easier for us to like pass them back and forth instead of having to download.
Oh, he's a gamer.
Directly.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I unfortunately landed with a gamer.
Mm.
But like if when it comes to at least when it comes to the Switch, you have to have it logged on to the official like main account, like that's your system in order to access your downloaded games if you're out and about.
Right.
Like I learned that one when I was on a road trip one time. So in that case, if I wanted to play Animal Crossing, but like my partner wants to play Animal Crossing too, he would have to either download a new copy himself or just the physical copy is just easier to pass it back and forth. So it's like, I mean, I like physical copies depending on the game. We have a physical copy of like Elden Ring and shit.
Yeah.
But what did they give a reason why?
I think they were just like, oh, we don't want to spend the money on it anymore. Pretty much.
Well, fuck you, South Africa.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
basically what they said.
it's EA. Yeah, that EA are like,
It's
we
a-
just
it's
don't
a-
care.
EA
It's a test
just
market,
basically
isn't
said,
it?
well,
Yeah.
you could go fuck yourself, South Africa. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
South Africa-
is there a huge demographic out like gaming? Like, is there like a large market out there for them?
A lot of
Is
people
that
in
Matt?
South Africa. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of
It's
people in
large-
South Africa.
It's not a small market.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised. Like, that's okay.
And of course, whilst probably none of us, other than
Do none of you have phones?
like other than the Switch games, I imagine none of us, obviously, like we've said, don't really buy physical that often, other than Switch games.
Switch games are smarter to buy physical, I think.
Yeah, but we were
But
aware
that
of
whole
people.
thing about them not letting you play the game you've like bought. I mean, that is
I have so I
tied
have
to your
two
account. I
Switches.
can get that, but like you,
I have two Switches,
share
and
my
I
account
remember.
in
Well, no, I have
Steam.
two, and I have two Switches. Like I bought the Animal Crossing one when it came out, so that's why I have two. It's not because I felt the need for two.
Mhm.
So like I remember I was just taking a road trip and I wanted to play one of my games that was a digital copy that I bought, but I didn't realize on my other Switch that was set as like my main account. So the Animal Crossing one that I brought with me didn't have wasn't made my accounts official. So when I was driving around, because without Wi-Fi or whatever the fuck
You
it
didn't
needed,
log into your normal.
it wouldn't let me play
Nintendo
my own
account?
games. It wouldn't let me play my own games, even though it's the same account is on both Switches. It's because the other Switch was considered like my main account. So
Okay,
those,
that is
so my,
Nintendo being.
it's
absolute-
Nintendo being bullshit. Yeah,
But off
it's
the
yes.
back of that, there's also, of course, that not having physical ownership means that digitally, they can just turn the servers off and you can no longer play the game that you bought.
It's true. This is true. Not owning your game is a real problem in modern gaming.
100%.
But also, I don't want. I've got 1,125 games on Steam. I do not want that on my shelves.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh no! Like
I
there's
wouldn't
certain
even
games,
want
like,
a percentage, a small percentage.
So
of that.
the only games I really buy physical these days are like games like I legitimately wanted. Like, you know, I bought a physical copy of Fire Emblem Engage. I still haven't played it, but I
Yeah.
bought a physical copy because I wanted to have a physical copy of a Fire Emblem game. I think I have all the Fire Emblems on physical, but like that's only because I'm a fan of the franchise. Aside from that,
That's like you're stepping into collector's edition type stuff there, right?
well, no, they're not collector's editions.
Yeah,
They're
but
just,
no, to you, that's an important game that you want a physical representation of, right? So that is
or if I
kind
want
of
to
the
lend it,
collector thing.
like, or again, like if I
you
want to
wanna
lend
lend
it to
it.
somebody, yeah, it's fine. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I don't,
second-hand market.
I do lend out my Steam library to people.
I've
but
had
it's
issues
not the
with
same.
my
I
Steam
understand it's
library
not
being
the
lent
same.
out. Like, I mean, like it doesn't work all the time. Just out of nowhere, like I had like a glitch that kept happening where like I guess my Steam library wasn't appearing for people, even though I shared it with them. So
You've also got
I mean,
the
I
second-hand
don't-
market. So you can't sell
That's
it
true.
once you're bored with it or once you completed it like you could with a physical
But the
copy of the
second-hand
game.
market has always been shit. You take in 3 games that are a month old and you get $20 for them. Do you know what I mean?
no,
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
can
at
also
least you
sell
get
them
20
to friends.
bucks.
Yeah, you could also sell it to a friend and get like a more healthy amount. But the fact is that you've got the option to say, okay, I've finished this game. I'm likely never going to play it again. It was good.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fine. But I want to sell it to my mate Bob because he wants to give me 20 quid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That option is then
Yeah.
taken away from you. And economically, I don't know how well off South Africa is, but I can only assume that there's the potential that the second-hand market could be quite lucrative or even important potentially in South Africa. I don't know, but it could be.
Oh, you
so-
think it's underhanded?
No, I'm just
I
saying
don't know
that's
if it's
something
underhanded.
that
I
could be
just,
taken away.
it could
That's
be
a-
what you said
that's a
that they might
pro.
be testing it out. Like they might,
it's-
EA might be making like doing like a test run like on South Africa, see how much it impacts their sales, and because it might be a large enough like group of people for them to test and see how much this actually directly impacts them financially.
Yeah.
And if it seems that it's not that much of a direct impact, they might start doing widespread. So this could be a case study for them.
Yeah, I think it is just like this is a sample size because why would you only do it
Sympathize,
in,
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, it would be a bit weird just to do it in that one country for the poops and giggles. But I don't think they're doing it to be like, oh, we're not getting any of the money from the secondhand sale, so fuck them kind of thing. I think it's just a case of
Yeah, but
that's
if
a
they
pro to
I'm
having
sure if they
physical
see a
stuff.
severe drop in sales because people don't want to buy them digitally and they prefer to buy physical, they might change their tune and like
No,
bring it
100%.
back.
Yeah, definitely not arguing that. I'm pointing out a pro to having physical. That's
Oh
one
no,
of them, yeah.
no, I was agreeing with what you
Yeah,
were saying about being a sample size, that they probably might like turn this around if they notice a huge dip in sales.
Yeah.
That's all I was referring to. But no, I agree with you. Like I'm a fan of owning physical copies depending on the game. I don't have as many games as Peachy does, but like I think I have like 300 something in Steam. I don't want all those. I don't want those lying around my
100%.
apartment.
I pretty much exclusively, other than collector's editions, and even then I get the collector's edition for pretty much everything except the game in those instances. But I do appreciate that there is an importance to having something physical and not
like
being
the
bound
option.
to a license rather than actually owning your game.
I like the option. How about that? It's a nice
yeah, the
to
option
have.
is always nice. That's true. So the video game market in South Africa pretty big. It's overtaken movies and stuff for
Oh, wow.
profit, and it's citation needed on Wikipedia, but it says it has a healthy second-hand market.
Right.
And this is EA. Like EA have
So-
done some good things recently, but this is
this-
EA.
This is
They've
EA
just
being
been like, we don't get any of that money. We want it.
Yeah, that's
I
literally what it
suspect it's
is.
not.
And they have a bad reputation for being a greedy company. So this really falls in line. See, back when we were talking nicely about EA,
Listen to
I say that they were going to do some
They're gonna
shit,
even it
and
out.
I
But we
called
don't know if
this.
they have. Like, but that's my bias of EA, right?
I do believe firmly that I agree with everything you just said. That I do know because I worked at GameStop when I was a lot younger. Like, so I do know that none of the money was ever going towards the
How many times
you know,
did you
the
get gatekeeped a day?
oh, constantly, like at least 2 or 3 times a day. But when I was the only girl who worked there too at the time.
You're a girl and a gamer. That's
oh my-
so cool.
Whoa! Oh yeah.
I'm not like other
So,
guys.
But I do know that you know, all when it came to like pre-owned, all the money goes directly to would go directly to
Yeah.
GameStop. That's why like I know that when you were as an employee, we weren't able to get discounts on new games, but we could on pre-owned games. So it was
Yeah.
incentive for the employees to buy pre-owned. So I do believe that this is absolutely just EA just saying like, hey, we're not getting any money. That's why so many games were like sometimes I think did they do that with like Vita, or like they were or always around the rumors, like the rumor mill of like, you know, the Series X, the PS5, that they were gonna do only digital games for a bit. Like I remember hearing like just at least whispers about that could be a possibility.
I think it was supposed to be Xbox, and then PlayStation were like,
I think
"Oh,
it was
we're not doing it,"
Xbox.
and then Xbox were like, "No, no, okay, we changed our mind," and now
Yeah,
everyone's
they
like,
did
"Hey,
the whole
Xbox."
performative thing where they got the game and gave it to the
Yes.
other dude. That was like the best troll.
That's I know, but remember, people got really pissed about that,
They did.
and that absolutely had to do with the fact that the game, like in the secondhand market, Xbox doesn't see any of that money. Well, I mean, they don't, but they don't see any of that money with the pre-used systems.
Yeah.
So they're not getting the money if you trade in your system. And likewise with the pre-owned games, those developers, publishers, they're not getting any of that money. So that this is absolutely just EA being EA, trying to say like, I want all the money, bitches, and they're just not going to let you have a secondhand market anymore.
I think there
this
is a high likelihood of that, but we don't know that's what.
We don't know.
Yeah.
This is
It
I
could
don't-
just be, let's make it all digital so everyone can get it everywhere. It could be that,
Yeah.
but it is EA, so they're probably like, fuck everyone apart from us, give me your money.
I
It
think
could
it's,
be, allegedly.
I suspect it's more of that's a benefit, but I don't think it was the cause. I just think it's something where they're like, yeah, like obviously,
Distribution over there might be an issue, but I mean, it's got a
Potentially.
massive market of video games.
They have a
and
second, but you just
healthy
read
secondhand.
a healthy
so-
secondhand, then that means that that's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like this is a sample size for them, because I don't know how it is over there in the UK. In the States, like you have like the subgroup, like like I'll sometimes, like when I was younger, I used to only go buy pre-owned. If it's a game I wasn't sure if I wanted it, I would prefer to buy pre-owned, because when again, like just like one of the policies when it came to GameStop is if you bought a new game and you unsealed it, you couldn't return it anymore. So that means that you would have to trade it in, and you would lose a big chunk of the money. So when you buy pre-owned, if you didn't like the game, you could bring it back within a week.
right.
So it was a nice insurance for a game, as you know, somebody who didn't have a lot of money at the time.
Mhm.
That second hand does help with people like that who, I don't know if I'm going to like this game. I would rather buy it pre-owned. And if you see it on the, like a shit ton of them on the pre-owned shelf, you might be, oh, that sounds good. So it's there. You're
Oh, like
isolating a whole group
visuals. Oh, this wasn't a good game. If people aren't clued in on
If there's like
stuff, they'll
four
just
or
buy it
five of them and it
online.
came
yeah,
out.
that's another like obfuscating how
so-
bad your game was if people aren't up in the know and don't watch the fully rendered podcast every
That's true.
fortnight.
And then also, so I feel like that potentially they could be isolating a whole group of people, because that's what the secondhand market also does, is it benefits people who don't have an income, or maybe they don't, maybe like kids don't have bank accounts.
Yep.
So I mean, maybe they have their parents' bank account, but like not like my mom didn't let me use her credit card on PSN. So well, I don't know if that was really, I was buying any digital, but I would save up like my allowance and shit and go to like GameStop and buy them. So you're isolating a whole group of people.
Yep.
That's not really
'cause it would
smart.
be a monetary gain, no matter how small, to EA, right? But then less people will be playing games. That's kind of short-sighted. If they can't afford a game, like a brand new games, are like
Like,
fucking 70 quid for a game, like is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
that's a
I'm
crazy
thinking. It's
price.
like you do have like a young group demographic that maybe like not all of them will have parents that are nice enough to let them use their credit cards. So they might be saving up their allowance and going to GameStop to buy, you know, a game pre-owned because it's cheaper. And when I was a kid, or when I was working at GameStop, that was a big demographic who would buy pre-owned, would be younger kids, because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
it's different for us because if we want a game, we just buy it, right?
Yeah, that's things you kind of have to put yourself in that mindset that you and all three of us, we just buy whatever the fuck we want when we want it.
Yeah.
And we have credit cards, we have bank accounts. Kids don't have that. And also not just kids, there are some people who just don't have credit cards or don't have, bank accounts. And they might be someone who scrimps on their own to being like, okay, well maybe I can like buy myself a game this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the economy how it is.
Economy.
Going through
Economy.
the next topics very quickly. Everspace 2 is out. It's reviewing well. It's been in early access for nearly 2 years. It's like an open world fly around in your spaceship game. I will be checking it out at some point, but yes, it's reviewing very well. Then, Pope, you'll probably be interested in this. Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries DLC came out.
Yeah, I already downloaded it. I'm
Nice,
super
nice.
stoked to play it. I'm about to finish. I'm going to be finishing RE4 tonight, but I'm like 2 chapters.
Where can we find that?
On this channel of Pulp Fictionally, thanks.
Yeah, Pulp
But
Fiction everyone after the stream.
I'm going to check out. I've been waiting to check out Mercenaries until I beat the game. I just took a little bit.
Yeah, a little
But it's- dude,
disappointingly, they've also added microtransactions to upgrade your weapons,
I
which
know,
I'm kind of like.
dude. I was making fun of this the other night. It's like I heard about that and I wanted to go see what this was. So you can go on. I'm gonna go over there right now. So you go on Steam and you could buy. They have the they're like these tickets. Like you get them throughout the main story. Like you have to do so many like side quests.
Mhm.
And you'll be able to buy these tickets and you could get the exclusive upgrades. Like for example, the shotgun, I have the fucking whatever the fucking shotgun I have. The exclusive multiplies the power by 1.5.
Yeah.
So you use that ticket, or you could spend 80. I think it's 80k pesetas.
Yeah.
So then you could go over here instead, and you go content for this game. I could buy 5 of those motherfuckers for $10 of the tickets. So instead of spending like 80k in game currency or going out of my way to do all those side quests, I could buy 5 of those motherfuckers and use it on my weapon. And the best part is it goes across, and I'm saying the best part like is like sarcastic, guys.
Yeah.
The best part about this is it carries over to all your save files. So you can have like a whole save file, like maybe New Game Plus, I'm sure, and have these tickets with already the maxed out weapons so you can sell them.
Right.
I guess I've saw people say that you claim that you could sell for them. So instead of working for it, you're literally paying to win. It's hilarious.
It's definitely an odd one.
I bought all of them.
I can kind
No,
of
I'm kidding. I didn't buy
understand,
any.
like for some people who like maybe work all the time, because it's only for the single player aspect of the game. So it's just like
Mhm.
it is convenience, but I can also see how people will be like, "Oh, you didn't play the game properly."
You
kind
didn't
of
do it
thing.
yourself.
But at the same time, it's single player, so objectively.
And the funny
should
thing is, you
care?
couldn't. I mean, I do give them credit where credit's due. That the benefit is it's not just for one save file. So, like, you can, if you're spending this kind of money, the $10, which is not a lot of money.
Right.
But like,
some
if you
people.
spend for some people, it is. But like in this, I'm just looking at it from my
In the states
perspective.
where we know
personally.
the price is $10, it's
here it's $10.
Okay, I guess.
But like if you spent the $10, then it will be accessible across all your save files. Unlike some other times you see this and it's only for one save file. So that's kind of nice that they're offering that. I still think it's kind of silly, but I mean,
what if my worry is, are they tuning the game for like you grinding it to be like way more difficult than it needs to be?
It doesn't
to
appear
just make
so.
you
Well, it
go,
depends. I guess it depends on the save on the mode you're playing. Like if you're doing professional, like I'm pretty sure like this is just like an easy, quick way of getting you like up to speed for professional if need be.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, you can't even use these until a certain point of the game anyway. You can't use them until like I think past chapter 9 or chapter 8, something like whatever you get to the castle.
from
Or like
what I've read,
or like a certain point.
no one
Yeah,
thinks
you
it's
can't use
grinding
it at the
because of
beginning.
it.
Yeah, it's not really
It's literally just a convenience.
it's a convenience because if I remember correctly,
I don't
these
have a
aren't
problem with-
able to
with
be used until
paying
like way
extra
later.
money to save
don't-
some time.
if you wanna
Like,
spend
there's
the money,
people who
go for it.
work a lot and earning money and don't have as much time to play games, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. The only worry I have is when they start tuning things to be more difficult to lead you into it. And yes, it is a single player game, so
Yeah, I
pay
think
to win doesn't really come into play there.
well, I'd say play to win in the, like as a jest. Like I'm being like super sarcastic about this. Like honestly, I don't really think that this is that big of a deal.
It's giving
They're
you an
not
advantage for money, so it is pay to win. Yeah.
And it is pay to win, but it's not like the kind of advantage where like it's kind of the same as like when you buy like the exclusive weapons from the beginning, like with the pre-order. Like I bought the pre-order or the collector's edition, deluxe edition, whatever, and it came with like a new shotgun and another handgun, which I sold right away. You know, I used up all the ammo and I sold it, so I got a benefit in that way. So I guess you could technically say I utilize a pay to win by doing that.
Mhm.
So it's, but I mean, it didn't really give me that much of an advantage. And if I remember correctly, like these can't be used from the beginning. So like even if you do buy these, you're not going to be able to use them until way later.
Right. Moving on, More Now is free on Epic Games if you're interested. It's kind of like a Chivalry. Before Chivalry 2 came out, basically it was the go-to for that style of game, so definitely
I love
recommend
not
checking it
giving
out.
10-cent money. I'll take free stuff.
Yeah, go for it, 100%. Then there's Bloodborne cart. Have you guys seen?
Bloodborne card. I've been following this game for like a year. They've been working on this.
Is this true?
Yeah, this is the same developer. I think it's a single person.
It's a modder, yeah, or
developer
something like that, yeah.
Oh my god,
A
this looks
modded turned
awesome.
developer.
who made the PSX version of Bloodborne.
Yeah, I think I was gonna play that on my stream, but someone said they didn't like how it looked, so I turned it off. But this looks so fucking cool.
PSX.
I think it was more like it gave him a headache, but so I was trying to be a nice person.
Right.
But this looks rad.
This is what you get for being nice.
I know. I don't even get to enjoy stupid shit.
Yeah, so this is, as far as we're aware, a single developer, Lilith Walther, I believe is the name. This is their YouTube channel, as far as I'm aware. Or it started as a single developer. I think they have got like a small team of contributors at the very least. But it's been in development for a while. I'm not sure if you can play it. Does it tell us?
I'm looking to see if you can play it. I looked it up immediately. I think there's just a teaser out, and they're showing like all the different. Oh shit! Sorry, my dog.
All good, all good. Carry on.
So,
anyway,
there's a precedent for kart racers because there's a New Blood kart racer currently being developed as well.
Right.
New Blood make quite. You can count the polygons on the graphics and a bunch of games from the New Blood. And it like this all vibes the same. And I love old school kart racers.
Right.
Yeah, no, this looks fun. This looks a lot of fun. I'm not super crazy about racing games in general, but I'll play this. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention it because I thought it looked cool. But,
Yeah.
It does
It
look
is
like
cool.
it looks like a lot of fun.
If you go to their YouTube, they got a lot of animations with some of the stuff they've obviously made the Bloodborne and go, what else can I do with this? You know,
Right. This is Everspace 2, by
it's
the
a
way.
fun time.
Just so you know. I'll put on the screen while we continue talking.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we are. Did I pass out? We are talking about this thing.
No, it was just talking about it quickly. What, have you played it? I didn't know you played it. If you have.
Oh no.
No,
Well, I played the Bloodborne one because
Bloodborne.
I'm a massive boom.
I have to play through the Bloodborne one still, but I do have it. This looks great. I'll play it.
Yeah. I'll definitely be checking it out. Yeah, this is Everspace 2. But did either of you see the Final Fantasy 16 State of Play?
No,
Oh.
I'm waiting to have my dick blown off, Brian.
Mate.
I want to have my
Mate.
dick blown off too, Brian.
It was fantastic. For those who are like, you what? Basically, in the agenda wrote that the State of Play blew my dick off because it was fantastic. Spoiler warning, if you are trying to avoid spoilers, don't watch it. But if you're not that bothered and you just want to see what the game's capable of, holy fucking shit, check it out. Fantastic trailer.
I'm really trying to avoid. I've heard that it's like my fiance's been watching, like keeping an eye on Final Fantasy 16. So I'm getting all of my, I'm learning about him getting his dick blown off.
Right.
But I've been trying to avoid any
everywhere,
spoilers.
man.
Unite, Kevin. Our dicks are missing.
So usually when it comes to like games that I'm really looking forward to, like Final Fantasy 16 is one of them. I try to avoid as much as I can. I just don't want to anything. So like I did, but unfortunately it has bit me in the ass a lot. Like, Mass Effect Andromeda is like one of the games that really comes to mind when it comes like that decision.
Right. You're like, no, I won't look. And then you missed out on everyone saying it was bad. And then you experienced the bad.
That's what happened to me. I got
Andromeda
it.
is literally the best Mass Effect game. Shut the fuck up.
Like,
I
Literally
got
the
it.
best.
you
Maybe
are
the
such
first
a
one.
gaming
maybe,
hipster, you
Maybe the
motherfucker.
first
He's a
one. It's pretty
He's
close.
a contrarian. He's a
No,
contrarian.
Yeah.
no.
It's fine.
You are the
Andromeda,
only person who
gameplay-wise,
believes that.
Is fucking phenomenal. It is one of the best sci-fi action third-person games you can play.
You are the only person on the planet that believes
the only
that.
person-
Not
believes
true.
that.
That is not true. Everyone was like, "Oh, look at the animations." The
The funny
gameplay is
thing was,
phenomenal.
okay, so what happened with me was when I didn't know about the animations at all, I was avoiding all news, and I loaded it up, and I got my copy. Like I remember, I got it like a couple days early because Amazon screwed up and sent me a copy early, like 2 days. And I loaded it up, and I was like, and I made my own character like I always do, and something was off about her eyelids, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And just like with watching, like just looking at, like that's how I learned about the animations. I was like, what the fuck is going on with their faces? And I went back and restarted the game with using the default writer is his name, I think. Like facial.
Every Mass Effect protagonist is a woman. Sorry, but
Oh.
they are.
Well, it's a
If you
woman
play
for
as
me.
the male character, you're objectively wrong.
It's- Well, I went back and picked her default
Such an
name.
elitist piece of shit.
You are right now. You are. You're just bullying me again.
No, he's being the
so-
hipster. He's gaming hipster.
No, PG's just bullying me. That's all that's
Fucking
happening.
hipster. I just like I appreciate.
She's being a
good shit.
contrarian on purpose.
I'm sorry, I'm
But
not
I
a
went-
sheep.
Anyway, same deal. Like I kind of try to avoid a lot of information because like I just want to I want to have my dick blown off in real time,
No,
like
that's fair.
as I'm playing it.
I am
But
on
I've heard this is
there
great.
anything
I've
you
heard
can
it's great.
mention that isn't a
Yeah, anything-
spoiler. That's just really cool.
the
Yeah,
combat
do
looks
that.
fantastic. They've added a really interesting way of adding accessibility. So you can equip items that will give you, like if you choose to, you can pick a story mode, which makes the game inherently easier, and it automatically equip these items. And the way it makes the game easier is by, like, if you wear this ring, it will give you auto dodge. If you wear another ring or gauntlet, it gives you like an auto attack, and it just allows you to be able to focus on the moving if you've got disabilities that prevent you from having to focus on two thumbsticks at once, because it is a PlayStation exclusive. So things like that, like genuine accessibility issues. And also if you do just want to enjoy the story, because it is very, very Devil May Cry, the combat. Like it's made by the guy who made Devil May Cry 5, or the director of combat specifically.
Dude.
Yeah. And the combat looks
That's great.
fantastic. The visuals look fantastic. There's like quite a bit of lore as well. So there's like bestiaries and like stuff that tells you about the diplomacy
looks
going on
awesome
in
from
the
what
back
I've
of the
seen.
game, stuff like that. There's loads of systems. It looks amazing. I'm actually kind of somewhat regretting having watched it because it revealed so much. So like watching it, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And it would have been cool to likewise see it in real time when I'm playing it. But for me to play it, I need to steal a PlayStation 5. So it won't be for a while anyway. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited for that. Did you guys see the Zelda trailer? No.
I saw you put it on there, and I'm like,
I saw you put it on there. I
didn't. Come
didn't.
out. Brian
waiting for
fucking
it.
loves The Legend of
No,
Zelda
no,
because
no,
it's been
no.
on every docket for the last like 4
I know
episodes.
he's so excited.
No.
Ah, shit.
Because if you recall us going back to those episodes, I've always said I'm not like massively
Yeah, I
bothered.
know. I'm roasting you, dude.
Because
I know.
I just know it's obviously an interesting subject for a lot of people, so it makes sense to talk about. But having
Okay, now I need to
watched-
check it out because someone just said that Ganondorf looks daddy as fuck, and that's all I need.
True, and like loads of stuff in the trailer is actually genuinely good. I went from I'm not really that bothered, it's just an important thing to talk about, to oh, I actually might have to get this now. So that's why I'm not sharing it on screen, because I genuinely want you guys to just watch it and be like, fuck, that's actually a really
Oh my god,
good trailer.
he is daddy.
Like it's a genuinely
He is pretty daddy.
really good
I've seen
trailer.
some of
Yes.
those.
Wow.
Yeah, some of the pictures are very spicy. They added
I'm
a bit
looking
of
him up.
spice.
Look at that hair.
Yeah, they've definitely gone very ham with the trailer, very ham with Ganondorf, to the point
I'm very
where
excited.
I'm very surprised they didn't do the trailer sooner, because this trailer is a hype machine. So if you are someone who's on the fence, watch it and then
I will
blame
look at
me
the
when you spend your
trailer.
money. Because
Don't fall for hype, but I will. I wanted to play it before, and I will watch the trailer, and I want to play it even more.
Yeah,
I just want. I'm gonna watch the trailer now just because I want to see Ganondorf in action.
do it, 100%. PG,
I'm a simple
Yes.
person.
you did a poll.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. So,
I was gonna say,
Brian,
did you have a
foolishly-
hypothesis? Because I suspected you had a hypothesis, and I was like, I don't think this is going to go where he thinks it's going to go.
I was surprised because Brian has foolishly given me the keys to the fully rendered Twitter. That's why there's been SpongeBob memes and random 40k pictures. But I put a poll. You can't put much in a poll, so it says there's a crazy amount of details to make up video games. Of these few options, which is the most important? We got world building, gameplay, art design, and narrative. And gameplay one, which I think is correct. But I am absolutely floored by the fact that no one seems to care about art design.
I think
Of the people who voted, obviously it's not a huge subsection of the human race.
I think it's, you give people so many options. Like I mean,
I
yeah, like art
suspect it was
direction. 'Cause
more of a
I
case
played some
that
games
people
that are
didn't.
like kind of silly art, and I don't care.
I think it's more of a case that people didn't may not have understood the difference between art design and graphics.
Well, I specifically
Maybe,
didn't put
that's true.
graphics
Yeah.
on there because that is such a nebulous thing. And art design is not graphics; it's how everything is tied together and sold to you in an image, right? It's not
Right.
just how many polygons do we got, how many pixels can we push. But
Yeah, and I
I'm
mean,
shocked that nobody voted for art design.
Well, I mean, when you bring up art design now, like I've thought of like games in the past where like I probably wouldn't play them because like the art looked pretty ugly, and you'd be like, oh. I've done that before, but like I don't know if that's like my main like top priority. Like that's not at the top of my list that it has to look really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's something you need to consider. The question was phrased, what's your top priority? That doesn't mean they don't care about art design. They only have
Yeah,
one
but-
option to put as the top.
Yeah, I think people care. I think because, like I said, there's games I played where, like, I looked at the art design, I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, and
And
there'll definitely be games that you've looked at it like that and gone, but I'll play it anyway.
I'll play it anyway.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like some games like I like cutesy stuff, but sometimes, and then sometimes it's a little too much. I'm like, oh, it's so anime.
No, 100%.
I'm just shocked. There's quite a few, not like I said, billions of people. A few people voted on that, and art design got nothing. And I don't know what that means. I was expecting a split. I wasn't expecting gameplay to be so far ahead. But I do feel vindicated for that because that is the most important thing about video games.
I think
But world building,
gameplay is the most
narrative,
important.
pretty close there. Like I hold world building a bit higher than narrative. I hold art design higher than narrative as well.
I believe I voted for gameplay on that because, like, I mean, because like right now I've been dealing with this is a purely me problem. I don't know if it's my keyboard or not, but I've been having issues with like Resident Evil 4. Like I have a bug that pops up every now and again, and it's like where Leon doesn't want to go for it. And I know this is a purely me thing, so I don't think it's the actual game. And like he won't go for it, and you could see I start getting really upset with the game because it's starting to kill my fun. The gameplay is not fun. And that's only because it's a bug. It's just purely like I have to pick up a controller and it fixes it for some reason. I don't know why that might be my keyboard. But yeah, it's basically like if something's not working correctly in the game, if it's like, gameplay wise, it's gonna kill people's fun.
Like if there's a problem with the narrative in a game for me, it doesn't stop me.
Sometimes the story sometimes the narrative, like there's been games in the past where I played them and like just somehow like the way the game's like the narrative is like kind of like building up. You're like, I don't know, I'm not really liking this, but I'll still keep playing. That's the thing, is I'll still keep playing. If the game's fun enough, I'll keep going.
Yeah, so for me personally, the poll went exactly as I expected it to. But I would also say
Of
that it does
course.
depend on the game. So I would say, like, I voted gameplay because I would say for most games, gameplay is the most important thing. Because if the gameplay
Yeah.
is bad, most people will find it unfun to play. And likewise, gameplay can save a game that has other elements such as the art design that may be bad. I played Path of Exile. I've never actually been that big a fan. It's gotten better over the years. of like the game's art style. I'm more of a Diablo fan, Diablo 2, Diablo 4 now, especially things like that. Wasn't that big a fan of Path of Exile, but I still play it because of the game mechanics. On the other hand, however, I also loved and adore Firewatch. That's literally to this day still one of the best games or best streams that I've had playing a game ever.
I actually like Firewatch. It is a walking simulator to its core, and I really enjoyed it.
It's remarkably simple, but it was one of the most fun experiences I had ever streaming a game. And I would say that's because of its fantastic narrative and the way it led the player through the game and things like that. So it's not universal that gameplay is the best thing for every game. There are going to be people who will objectively go, this is why I'm playing it. Yeah. But it also doesn't state that because you didn't vote for it, it doesn't mean that you don't think it's important. You just know that gameplay more often than not is likely to be the saving grace of a game.
I just didn't expect such a big difference between. I mean, the two of them are quite close, but I didn't expect the split of the winner and the loser to be quite so huge. It was just, I'm like, oh, let's just do a tweet. You know, it wasn't. There was nothing. I'm like, oh, we got to talk about this. I found the poll interesting. Yeah, so make sure you're following the Twitter, because then you can vote on polls and vindicate me 100% when I say the narrative is pointless and doesn't need to be in video games. Thank you very much.
TV is the handle for those listening.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to say, Paul?
Oh, no. Someone just brought up a good example of, like, you know, with narrative, pulling them in, utilizing Xenogears. Like, the gameplay isn't the strongest, but, like, it's still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was just using the example with Resident Evil 4 because the game, it does play great. It's awesome. I love the game. I just, like, I had a bug that it happens, like, every once in a while. And when it happens, you can see my face, like, as I'm getting progressively frustrated, that it's starting to kill my whole fun. That's why I voted gameplay, because gameplay is, like, I think probably the most paramount when
If
it comes
that
to
fails,
games
it's hard to go through the game.
Yeah, that's why I use that. That's why I use that example, because it's such a perfect example of, like, I don't know what the hell's going on, and then all of a sudden, like, this isn't even fun anymore.
Last of Us, you could argue, is another one. The gunplay in The Last of Us. It's fine.
I can't. It's not working. I have to fix it. I have to fix my streaming deck. I have to set it up.
Oh, good. Not to worry.
I have to set it for this guy.
The beacon software.
Yeah, they're doing shit outside. I've been trying to fix it.
Oh, good.
Sorry about my dog, guys.
It's fine. But yeah, so
she's feeling better.
Yay!
I'm glad. Very glad. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to cover?
Bolt Gun's got a release date, 23rd of May. The main protagonist is played by Raoul Cooley. I'm probably fucking absolutely hammering that name, but he's a great actor. He was in Blythe Manor, iZombie, he's into 40K, so I'm looking forward to that. And the D&D movie was fucking perfect.
We'll have to talk about that next episode, because I want to
know about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it before next.
I recommend, if anyone's like, oh, I don't know, I want to go to the cinema, what should I watch? The D&D movie is, if you like D&D, it's the perfect movie. If you want a fancy movie, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching Mario, hopefully D&D, and maybe a couple of other things like that. 65 million days or years, whatever. The dinosaur one with, what's his name? Man with big shoulders and tiny waist. That guy. So yeah, I always forget. I don't go off and I pick Adam the right Driver. One that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Swole.
Yeah.
Swole. Soul Driver.
Much swole. Hope, was there anything else that you wanted to cover before we do shout out?
No. I think I've pretty much covered everything I want to talk about. If anything comes up,
fantastic.
I'll mention it next time.
In that case, take over. Pope, where can we find you?
I am Pulp Fictionally. You can find me on all social medias except for Twitter, which is Plop Fictionally. I'm a former Instagram model turned variety streamer, and I'm actually going to be streaming in about probably about an hour more Resident Evil 4. I gotta beat that baby. But yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's me. I meant to go to Poochie. Sorry, continue, Poochie.
It's Pixel 8. Hi, that's me. You can find me there everywhere. I'm variety. I love Warhammer. My Instagram is kind of getting full of Warhammer at the moment. I can't wait for Bolt Gun. System Shock is coming out May also. Yeah. At the moment I'm playing Animal Crossing because it's kind of it's kind of got me. It's kind of got me.
It's fun. That's a fun one.
got you.
And I'm not that kind of gamer. You know what I mean?
He hates narratives too.
I hate there's no narrative in that game.
There's no narrative whatsoever.
It's the perfect game, Brian.
I'll have to come visit your island then.
I will
Let's see what you
open
got.
my island. Tomorrow I'm opening my island. Sod it. Come
So
watch me
opening it
tomorrow.
to everyone. But hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Brian the Pirate. Thank you to my hosts, Poochie. and
Sorry again about
and
my dog.
Paul.
Yourself, you absolute piece of.
And apologies for the dog, but we all love dogs, so it's okay. But if you want
I'm
to,
gonna fix it.
no worries. If you want to find me on social media, I can be found on Brian the Pirate on basically everything. I will be playing Last Epoch tomorrow at 3 p.m. British summertime. And if you like action RPGs, I've been posting a lot to my my YouTube. I did a review of the beta for Diablo 4. That's doing really, really well. So definitely go check that out. But yes, thank you for joining us all this evening. We will see you in 2 weeks where we will talk about a lot more. We've got a couple of surprises coming up soon as well. So definitely get subscribed on all the relative channels. Fully rendered TV on Twitter.
It's loot boxes.
It's
We're
not loot
announcing
boxes.
loot boxes.
We're not
Some loot
announcing
boxes
loot
coming out.
boxes. I promise
Yeah,
you.
I think we are.
We're just going to ban physical copies of ourselves in other countries. That's what we're going to do. But yes, thank you all for joining. Farewell. We'll remember you.
Peace.
Bye.